Thank you. Wait. Thank you.
Y'all scared now.
I'm gonna just wait for my people to come in here. I'm gonna edit that part out.
Yep. Welcome in, my people. Welcome in. Should black people receive reparations?
Facts. Why do you want reparations?
Explain to us why.
Just two simple questions.
That's it.
Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Why do you want reparations? Should so-called BLK people receive reparations? And I know we going by different titles now. That's why I have quotes around BLK. But do you think that our people should receive reparations? And if so, why do you want reparations? What would you do with them? How do reparations help our community? Welcome in, y'all. Tap and share. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm actually not going to start this discussion until we get more people in here. I want to hear from our people today. I'm not going to talk as much until we get the conversation going. You see what I'm saying? Should so-called BLK people receive reparations? And feel free to request up. There's no right or wrong answer, but we will debate you. We will debate. And it will be respectful. No over talking. No named calling. You see what I'm saying? We do one at a time. We don't do over talking in here. We let everybody say whatever they want to say, speak their frequency, and then we go on to the next person. So welcome in, y'all. If y'all in here, share the live. I see some people in the chat. So that way we can get the conversation started. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. I think some of y'all waiting for other people to speak first because I see y'all in the chat. And I know how some of y'all feel about this topic. But seriously, why do you want reparations? Do you think we should receive reparations? Do you think we shouldn't? Do you think it's a waste of time? Do you think we've already received reparations?
Yeah, we want to hear from y'all.
Yeah, what is reparations to you? How do they help our community? Like, come on, y'all. Y'all be on this app all day long talking about it. Y'all see me. They're like, nah, she gonna fry me. I'm waiting until we get our people in here, man. I got all night. Mm-hmm. Request up, y'all. If you can't speak, type in the comments. How do you feel about the topic?
Or share it with somebody who been wanting to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we really want to hear why our people want reparations.
Mm-hmm.
Or should they? Should I?
Facts. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. If you just coming in, we just getting started. Tap and share. If you know somebody that feels strongly about this topic, share it with them. If you feel strongly about this topic, request up. Somebody said so-called Black people are indigenous to America, and I am in law school currently because I'm going to sue too.
Can you come up and explain that?
Yeah.
The comments don't really express your true vernacular, so we need to hear that from you and know why you're saying what you're saying.
Yeah, feel free to request up. You have live access because I'm able to send you a request. You just have to accept it.
'20 general election in Fulton
Go
County.
ahead, Big
All
Mac.
tabulator
Welcome up.
tapes
from every voting machine, all ballot images during the original count, and all of the voter Big Mac.
Big Mac.
Rolls. That's what we know according to reporting at this point.
Yo.
Why do you think, I mean, we all have our theories, but why do you think DOJ is doing this right now? Trump's DOJ is doing this right now.
Okay. When we say it about 3 times, that's the last strike. So if you're gonna come up here,
Welcome in, user.
You know what I'm saying? Abundance, everybody coming in abundance. Abundance to all the brothers and the mothers.
Welcome in, y'all. All right, if it's not letting you come up, it's cool. We read what you had to say, but I don't really understand where you're going with it, so we're just waiting for our people to come in here. We just gotta be patient.
For real.
But they ask these questions on here, though.
Yeah, they ask these questions
They
too.
ask it all day. They say they ask these same questions.
It's just that I think they know us now.
They know our account because if I go in their lives, half of them got me blocked, or some of them. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, but sometimes you gotta be patient. In a minute, I'm gonna run it on my backup if it doesn't. You know?
Yeah, one of them gonna click.
Yeah, for sure. Let it be about species, and it would already have 30 views. You know what I'm saying? But
I might read that at the Rising though. Okay.
that is crazy, though.
The two people over here, they
The two people that's in here is us.
As soon as you said species, I'm telling you that species, people run from science. I just, even when we're trying to use the rep, they still not falling for it.
I don't know, cause
it is increasing.
That is true. They not falling for it. Shit, so-called BLK people receive reparations. Why do you want reparations? They said with reparations would come, they would be tax-free, they would have the freedom to rebuild, they would get free health care, prison reform, political power, and another thing that was on the list was repair. So Abundance, greetings. Welcome in.
Abundance.
Welcome in, y'all.
Peace.
And we don't have to just talk about reparations. We can talk about anything that we've talked about. You know what I'm saying? This is just typically what I see most of my people talking about on the app. So that's why I'm live about it. Other than that, we still not the same species as these people. You see what I'm saying? Like we're still driving that home. Like we're not the same species, and I think y'all understand that. But I really want to hear why y'all still want reparations from them, because that's something that our community truly think that they deserve. And I haven't exactly heard
Illogical.
well, yeah, true, but I just want to hear it in real time.
Yeah.
Like the explanation on why our people feel like they're entitled to reparations, you know? And like I said, it's no right or wrong answer, but we got to start running from not wanting our ideologies challenged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If what you're saying is the truth, then like why can't it be intellectually challenged?
Facts. The sister
That's
said, why want something we never going to get? The brother said, fuck the money, give me the land. Okay.
I mean, the panel's open, y'all. We can kickstart a conversation and we can really hear why y'all feel the way you do, because why y'all feel the way you do affects all of us around the planet. So we just want
Yeah.
to know.
And essentially, like, we care. It's just like, we got to start talking about it more. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep.
All right. Go ahead, my sister. Welcome up.
Abundance.
Greetings, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good. How are
Abundance,
you? Abundance.
love,
Peaceful,
prosperity.
peaceful.
I'm gonna just further my question on why want something we never gonna get. Like I genuinely feel like if we genuinely as a people, it's too many of us black people that are still live in that diaphragm, like still live in that ideology of slavery. And when you still have some type of poverty mindset and you don't know who you are, you don't know who your ancestors are, you still going along with colonialism and you are still biting the bait that the white man is feeding you, you are never, and our people are never going to be able to say we're taking our land back without having to want reparations. It shouldn't even be a want. They should be ours. But since we're so disconnected from oneself and so disconnected from our land, it has become this repeated cycle. And now it's just, I want. It's just like how many people just want handouts. And it's just like, you're not going to get something that they've been dangling in your face all the time. You ever seen that commercial, that Geico commercial where it's like, oh, you almost had it, you got to be quicker than that? That's how I feel that they hang reparations over our head. It's just like, it's just something you're never going to get until you really realize where you come from and how to get back to yourself. Like, it's something that we have to take. It's not something that they're going to give us.
And what do you mean by take? Like, do you have like, I guess, an ideology about how we should go about returning to nature, or what do you mean by we have where it's not going to be given, but we have to take it? What do you mean by that?
So that's a little complex. That's a little complex when I say take, because it's like in order to really have peace, you have to go through chaos. And I really feel like in the world that we live in right now, it's going to take a lot of chaos. According to Bob Marley's Natural Mystic, many people will die. More people will die. More people will suffer in order for peace to even come in some type of tranquility. So I genuinely feel like I said, like you have to like come back to yourself first in order to understand and overstand who you are as a whole, as a god and goddess on the earth, being connected to the earth, knowing that you come from the earth, and that these whitey people they are not the ones that they're not the ones that we should be ever handing power to. We have to take back our power energetically and spiritually first before we can take back anything else.
Facts. I agree. Okay, that makes sense. Um, I wouldn't rebuttal to that. Like she's saying, take back your power energetically because everything manifests spiritually before it manifests physically. So she's saying that we haven't made the mental shift as a community yet. We're still wanting to stay in this system, which I totally agree. Um, when you're in a cycle of wanting and having your hand out, that's automatically giving other people power or giving something power over yourself because you feel like that's what's governing you. You feel like that's what's grounding you or would complete you is their money, them giving you your land back, like whatever it is, especially the healthcare. Like I don't understand the talking point of the healthcare. That's the main one that I don't get. Tax free and healthcare, those are the two main ones that I don't understand.
And free education.
And yeah, free education. I can understand why they say free education, but
from an animal.
From it, no, I know, but I'm saying I can understand. But it's like we talk about slavery, and we were the first thing taxed. Like I don't understand why we're. So and then when it comes to healthcare, it's like how do you ask for free healthcare from the people that gave you disease?
Exactly. They bought that stuff all the way from Europe. They brought disease. They bought all the like everything. Scurvy. They was not brushing their teeth. They wasn't washing their butt. It was just like they was going over and trying to just conquer everything. When they first came over, the America they created, they ain't create none. They know they ain't create none. They went and they tried to conquer and they tried to take, just like all the wars that are going around now for oil and more gas and gold.
Thanks.
Still trying to conquer things that aren't even yours. You're so simple minded that you don't learn to create. So you take other people's creation. And it's so crazy to me because I was just saying, it's just like I literally watched, like one prime example for me is music. And music, you see the developmental of music, but you also see the fall of music. And I just seen like so many. I seen Indian person, I seen a white tea person, and it's just like, yo, they take everything of ours, every single thing, every bit of the swag, every bit of the way we talk, the way we dress, the way our hand movements are, the way our mouth moves, the way we wear our hair. Like, and I tell you that stuff. Like I be getting so mad now. Like I used to really didn't get that mad, but like now, like I really be getting mad because it's like y'all hate us so much. It's just like it's not even just white tea people that don't like us. Every single other culture and race does not like the real indigenous people of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothers me. So it's just like you say anti Asian hate. You say anti Jewish hate. You say anti whatever, Polish hate, whatever. But it's like, how long do we gotta fight as a civilization?
Seriously, like when is enough gonna be enough? That's a very great question. Like if we've been asking for y'all, I was just talking about this before I went live, and these people are how much are they in debt?
$33 trillion in debt, the U.S.
$33 trillion is how much the US is in debt. But these people spend 99 billion on trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And their dollar is depreciating like crazy right now. Like as we're speaking, that shit almost has no value. And I'm like, we asking for reparations at a time like this?
The U.S. dollar is having its biggest drop in history. And why do you think energetically so-called black people are asking for reparations at this moment? What do you think? Like this something is about to happen to the power grid, to the economic grid, to the economic system. It's going to shut down.
For
You see what
sure.
I'm saying? And when that shuts down, then they're gonna give you the money when it has no value.
Exactly. They'll give you the money and the system will shut off the next day.
Exactly.
Like I'm telling you, they will give you the
It's a
money
trap.
and next
Reparation
week
is a trap.
the whole system will shut off. Like, so it's like, puppets like Tariq Nasheed,
Yep.
going along with their playing at a time like this. Like, why are they telling you that their money is losing value, but Tariq Nasheed, you know what I'm saying, is influencing the so-called BLK community heavy right now. Like, so I don't know. I don't think we truly understand, but they do be trying to suppress my page, so I understand why uh it's not that many people on the panel when it comes to this topic. But truly, if you agree, if you disagree with what we're saying in here, if you have something that you want to add, like, feel free to come up, share the live. Like, if you know people that truly feel strong about the topic of reparations, please share it with them. You know what I'm saying? We respect everybody in here. We let everybody speak one at a time. We don't do over talking, so everybody will get to express their frequency. But I just want to hear, on my from me, like, do you think that another question that I've seen is, are BLK people entitled to reparations? You see what I'm saying? So should BLK people receive reparations? Are we entitled to them? I've heard a sister told us the other day the debt is owed. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, she said it doesn't matter whose face is on the money, the debt is owed. She doesn't care about none of that. She just wants the money. That's it.
So we just want to hear, like, how do our people feel, like, about it? Because some people are saying, I don't care about the money, just give me the land back, like the brother just said. Some people say, I want the money and I just want health care. Somebody say you can't repair a nation that is divided.
Who told you that?
That is true. But you can, though.
But the reason why they're divided. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Actually, hold on, user. Let me get to El Loco, and then we'll get to you, sis. Cause we're talking about his comment, so I just wanted to go ahead, El Loco.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, you can't repair a nation that's not a nation. Reparations is for repairing a nation. We're still divided as a nation of people. And then furthermore, what are we going to do with the money?
What do you hear your people say that they're going to do with the money? What have you heard?
Yeah, what have you heard?
The same things y'all heard. Nothing that's going to be beneficial to us as a nation of people. Jury, cars, the same crap we always spend our money on, tax returns and everything else.
So when you say nation, do you just believe that BLK people are just their own separate group, or do you think this is like a global thing as well?
It's global because we're all over the world. It's not just here in the U.S. Our people are all over the world. Every continent, we're on every landmass in the world. The issue is we're divided. And BLA people, where do they come from? You can't get reparations if you're not a nation. There's no nation or nationality called BLK people. It doesn't exist. So first we have to figure out who we are as a nation of people before we even talk about reparations.
And what would we need? So let me ask you this. Do you believe that we need reparations, just we need to be claiming it under a different title, or what's your stance?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yes. Before, when we were together as a nation of people, we were Moors. The Moorish Empire was in full effect. And when we fell in 1492, that's when we all got split. Everybody was Negro, black, colored, mulatto, Indian, and that fight is still going on today, and that's why we're still having issues that we having. We still debating names and like stuff that really don't matter. You know what I mean? And furthermore, we want reparations, but we ain't even got to that point yet. We got to deal with other stuff before we even get to that.
Okay,
That's my
so we
take.
should be classified as Moors.
Oh, we are classified as Moors to this day. More. So if you think about it, right, you have a first name, right, middle name, last name. Your last name is your. Think about it like this: you have tribal names, and then you have your national name. So your family, right? Your family name is your last name. So whatever your last name is, that's your national name, right? Or as a collective, that's what we all go by. But to like my last name is Hines, right? So you wouldn't refer to me as Hines, right? Because that's the collective. If you want to refer to me individually, you have to refer to me by my first name. So yes, we are Indians. We're all of that. But what were we when we were a nation of people? What did we all collectively decide? Okay, this is what we're going to be called, or this is what we are. And the last time that we were collectively as one, we were calling ourselves Moors. Now, tribally, you might have been a Arawak, or a Nietzsche, or all the different tribal names, right? Clans, different clans and tribes. But as a nation of people, we were Moors.
Okay, I got you. You can stay up here. I just wanted to introduce user. Go ahead, my sister. Welcome up. Greetings, sis.
Hi. Um, Honestly, I don't really have too much to say on this topic. But I was gonna say that I feel like when it comes to reparations, I feel like all the trauma that we've experienced in the past when it came to what like colonizers has done, even like how they ate us and like they did all these horrific things. I don't get how you feel like money can compensate that. Like it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a people that always like we do like mention about things that happened in the past, but then to say, oh yeah, I want reparations, it's kind of like, I don't know, how are you ignoring all the violence that took place? How can money like fix our current position, like how we are like operating so messed up as a collective, like continual division amongst everyone? So it's like like what is the benefit of having the reparations to begin with? And then it's even like, how are you even going to divide this reparation? Like, who's it going? Like, how are they going to distribute it? Like, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense to me.
I heard elder today in one of the lives. She said we shouldn't worry about how it's going to be distributed. They should just issue the money to us and we'll figure it out.
But then who's us? Like, who's
Mm-hmm.
that person that they're talking about?
Right.
What bank
So
account? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
yeah, we would have to then come to an agreement on who it would be delegated to or what account or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We would have to figure that out first. And so it's so much, and then we can't even trust each other. Even when we do
Literally.
something like that, the last thing that we can do is trust each other. So um yeah, I don't understand the talking points of why our people want reparations, but I'm open to hearing why they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And titles too. All titles do not stem from us. When we were all a global civilization, we identify with our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Your DNA is your identity. It's not a name that comes from linguistics. Linguistics doesn't process well in our brain. It actually creates sulcuses.
Yep. So that's another thing. Like we're not none of these titles. All of these titles that we're going by came after we were introduced to their system.
So even more as well. That's not us.
All the titles. Anything that would classify you in their system anywhere in the world is not our identity.
Yep.
So, um Did somebody want to say something? Keep it spicy, or who is that?
Oh yeah. I just want to piggyback on El Loco and User. Um, I agree with both of you guys are saying. It stems right back, going right back to colonialism. They took our identities from us. They took everything from us. So it's like, what, like you said, like what would reparations actually do from the horrific events that took place for years on end? There's no amount of money that would ever be able to change the representation of how they label us and still label us to this day. So it's like, is even money, what even is money? Like, what is money gonna do? And it's like, well, like El Loco gonna say like, they want the money, they want the cars, they want the clothes, they want the jewelry. Okay, so that's another thing that keeps us divided. A lot of our people do not understand what literacy is when it comes to financial. A lot of us are still uneducated and refuse to be educated because when we were slaves, when our people were slaves, we were given faith and not education. We had to fight and claw our way to education. So it's like again, where would any of this come from? How would it be distributed? You talking about, you said what, 24 trillion years in 10 years? Like, I don't, like, that's just one thing that just like crosses my mind. Like, just piggybacking off of what they say, because it's just, a lot of it don't make sense. Like, money cannot cover the destruction that they have put on this land, the curse that they have put on this land and on others' lands. So how do you repay that debt of the children that they killed, of the women that they essayed? Like, how do you repay that? I'm with user 666 on that, because I don't think you can repay that. I don't think, in us still being divided, we have to, like I said before, we got to take our power back energetically and spiritually before we do anything.
Yeah, the political power is like, okay, there's someone else that goes live on here about getting Black American and African American removed from the census. And I'm just trying to think, what title do y'all actually want there to be, there instead? I don't know. It's just like, that's why I'm asking the community, like, what is this? Go ahead, Kendon. What's up, brother? Welcome up.
Abundance.
What's up? What's up? So I want to piggyback on what El Loco said, right? Like, I don't see why people want to get reparations if all we gonna do with it. Well, I'm speaking for everybody else because I already know what they gonna do. But all they gonna do is be consumers with it. You know what I'm saying? And just run up inflation and, like y'all said, just, you know what I'm saying, fuck the whole system up. So it's like, I don't really even see the point in trying to get reparations for real. If you just gonna, spend it on, shoes, cars, and, jewelry like that. That's why I said, me, just give me the land. You know what I'm saying? So I could just build my estate plan. You feel me?
Okay, bet. All right, so the only issue that I have with our people wanting reparations is the fact of the matter that these people have blatantly stolen everything from us, and it's just, to me, it's kind of weird to like go through a rigorous process to get these things back from a group of people that's doing these things to us on a global scale. I think it's some of the rhetoric that I hear around this conversation is really desperate. We were telling the sister, like, okay, this is not your money. The money that y'all are asking for is not yours. If you look at the face on the money, that's not your face. And that's when she replied, it doesn't matter whose face is on it, the debt is owed. How is a debt owed to you when you never knew money until these people introduced it to you? So if we only knew being connected to the land, why are we asking an unnatural organism for it back? But I understand what people are saying. They think that going through the system is where we are, like currently today, is a practical approach. That's something else that I've heard. So I don't know. I don't know if that's really practical. I think the most practical thing that BLK people can do is to walk away from this system. I think the most practical thing that we can do is rely on each other.
Yeah, they never stole they never stole your land, man. It's always
Hmm.
been your planet. You see what I'm saying? This planet belongs to us. So they never stole that. All they did was just lower your consciousness.
Yeah,
Made you forget about how you're connected to the solar system and stars and planets and the trees and the energy from the ground, from the inner sun. You see what I'm saying? From yourself. So all they did was just disconnect you from yourself, man. Once you
yeah.
reconnect with yourself, you will understand that this whole universe is yours.
We got to start learning how to really connect with the land. Go ahead, my brother.
Nah, you're right. I agree. I agree. And
Yeah.
I like what he said about getting the land back, because if you really think about it, so the piggyback off what you said earlier, money has always been gold and silver coin to this day. That's, it's in the Constitution, in the state constitutions and the federal. Uh, so what we refer to as money is actually Federal Reserve notes, right? Which is, a note is not money. It's an IOU. And as we all see, it's crashing. It's losing value by the day. Russia, China, none of the other nations are accepting these treasury bonds anymore. So it's up. The gig is up. And it just makes me feel, I'll be 40 this year. I don't know how old the viewers or, people on the panel are, but I've seen a lot. I've learned a lot, and it just makes me feel good that, the younger generations are waking up to the BS. And the fact that y'all even having this conversation, just shows that it's over. It's over. Y'all could be talking about Cardi B and, whatever, you know, uh, sports or entertainment or music, propaganda is going on, but y'all choose to talk about a topic that's really important and that matters. So that just shows that the consciousness of our people is changing. They try to push that, we're all ignorant, we YNs, you see the narrative that's being painted. But it's not the majority, it's actually the minority. So they try to paint the image that the minority is the majority, and it's not. It's really not. I don't see YNs when I go out. I see them, but not everywhere. You know what I mean? I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I'm living in Arizona. I haven't seen a YN since I've been here. I don't see these young children walking around in, 80, 90 degree weather with hoodies and ski masks on. It's certain cities, certain areas, but it's minute. It's not as big as they want to portray it to be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that's excuse me, that's key what you said. It's not as big as what they portray it to be because everything is programming. Like that's what we got to understand. Like you've been programmed to even want reparations because the money is programmed you. The food programmed you. You used to be you were the first doctor. Now you feel like you got to go to them for healthcare. So the thing is like the repair that we actually need really needs to take place within our own community on our own. We should not be looking to these people to repair anything that they've done to us. You can't repair our children being fed to crocodiles, our mother's reproductive organs being on display in museums. You can't repair our organs being fed to zoo animals, our women being injected with monkey semen. You can't repair grape and it being legal in this country. Them legally graping our baby girls as early as 2 hours old, 2 months old, 2 weeks old, 2 days old, fresh out the womb because they believe that our children could experience O's. So when it comes to the psychological state of these people, you have to be vibing on the same frequency as these people, which is little to no fucking charge at all, to think that they're going to repair you when they left you in this state, to pick up the pieces, because when this system goes, the only thing that we're going to have left to deal with is each other. So it's like you either delay it right now or we tackle it now or later, but we're gonna be forced with the truth to be faced with the truth.
Yep. And somebody saying, yeah, you can go look up in the German scientists, a group of German scientists that went to West Africa to inject black women with monkey semen to try to get them to impregnate and give birth to that, to try to make their evolution theory real when it's never happened. You see what I'm saying? And then they did that all over the planet. They unalive millions and millions of us all over the planet.
And somebody says, so just let them off the hook. Like, let me actually put something on the screen. Give me a second. 1 second. Because I understand what you're talking about. Yeah. But give me a second, though.
And again, German, American, these are eukaryotic cell organisms. I'm not worried about the title. I'm worried about their genetic function, their biological function. That's their organism. No species in nature identifies each other through titles. They identify with each other through function of their environment. So I know that this is a different species.
Too small.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I want to go on the comment of pay up person. You said, what about all the white Americans that lost their lives fighting against slavery? What do they get? And if we being honest, they get respect. Honestly, like, hey, it was their ancestors who started all of this. You know what I mean? They get respect. Honestly, from me, they get respect. I'm not gonna give them nothing more than that. Because it's way more black people that lost their lives trying to protect everybody's rights. Not just black rights, everybody's rights. So you can't throw that comment in there.
So somebody said, so just let them off the hook. There's truly nothing that we have to do because the sun is getting them out of here. This is Italy's birth rate. These people are not reproducing.
Nope.
At all. The Dravidians are being plagued right now with disease. 14 million men just became sterile
in Japan.
14 million. They were already on a birth rate decline for years. They're already under martial law. Russia is. You see what I'm saying? Venezuela's been out of money since around COVID. So the eukaryotic cell, any and everything that's not natural to this planet is what's getting out of here. It's not even just white people. It's not just like how in America we're so conditioned to think that this is such a black and white thing. The first man to ever enslave us was the Asian man.
Yep.
We're forgetting about the Arab slave trade, the Asiatic slave trade, because we're so caught up in the titles that we don't know who's who. Somebody told me on here the other day, oh, the Asiatics, them not my people. Do you consider yourself to be BOK? Okay, so you share embryology with these people. The title is what's got y'all confused. And that's why we're having an identity crisis, because we're sitting here subscribing to, oh, I'm Creole, or I'm this, or I'm that, I'm Ugandan, I'm African, I'm the. Look, y'all, the titles are created by the same people that fed our children to crocodiles.
Hi guys, how are you?
So how can you be a percentage of a landmass when they're percentages of animals? How can you be percentages of a landmass? That don't make sense.
Yeah, facts. Go ahead, McKinney. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, what were melanin people or black people were doing when they were being enslaved all over the world? Like every single race did something. Like, what were we doing? I'm black myself too, but I'm just saying, what was our mindset back in the day? Like every single race took advantage of us.
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, what are you trying to say? What were we doing? Like,
I'm just saying, why are we the only people that been through slavery by every single race? Like, you know, the Arabs enslaved black people, the white people, the Asians. Why? Why us? No one else.
For genetic survival. They need us to
No,
bring.
that's not the answer.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
you
then tell
ask.
us
So
the
okay then.
tell us the answer. Tell
Yeah,
us
go
why
ahead.
you requested up.
Yeah, go
No,
ahead
no,
and
I'm
tell
just
us.
saying I don't think that that's the way. Like what you said is right, but I'm just saying what were we doing? Are we like defenseless people? We don't do anything like to defend ourselves. We let everybody take advantage of us, do whatever they want. All we do is complain and ask freedom. We want to ask freedom, other human being to free us. That's all
So
we've been doing.
So you don't
Free us, free
understand
us, free us.
genetics.
So the thing is that you have to understand everything that happened to the planet and not just you as a like as people, because it's I'm gonna mute you because that background is throwing me off. So the thing is like in order for them to psychologically put you in this mentality to where you, like you just said, defenseless, they're how we're connected to the planet, everything had to be infiltrated and destroyed on every level possible before they could fully infiltrate the mind. So when he's telling you about genetic survival, you have to understand the way these people function, their genetics, their biology, and that they're unnatural to this planet. So they share genetics with multiple different unnatural organisms, and they every parasite needs a host. These people function like parasites. So this is the reason why they have to do things like grape, slavery, the system, and things like that. All the psychological abuse that took place, the system that you're in right now is to keep that in place. It's essentially programming. It's not that we're defenseless. We forgot who we are. We're struggling with disease. When we first came in contact with these people, they wiped out 2 continents plus others alone with venereal disease. So you got to understand when we talk about all the wars and stuff that they teach you about in school and all the wars that they talk about, the main thing that the main tactic that they used to combat war was disease. So first of all, you got to understand these people are not how they portray themselves to be in their
I
history.
understand
They
that.
were
I
wiping
understand that,
people
Let her
but
out with
finish.
disease.
I
So you got to
understand that, but
Let her
go
finish.
ahead.
we've been in the same situation for thousands of years. Though, does it take 1,000 years for us to understand that this is not the way to continue? It's like it's just keep happening over and over and over again, and we are not doing anything about it.
Do you eat
What are you
meat?
doing as an individual?
Do you eat meat?
Yes,
Okay, so why are you not doing anything as an individual to make sure that your vessel is clean so that nothing blocks you from seeing the truth?
So you can pull in the
I mean
sun
That's
I
to
see the
see.
truth.
non-conducive to your genetics. No,
I
you
see the
think these
truth.
people, hold on, because you cut me off. Hold on. You think these people are the same as you and you're eating them. You just told me that you're eating meat. So, first of all, knowledge itself. Do you understand your genetics? Do you understand how connected you are to the planet? These animals that you're eating are non-conducive to your DNA. So you're again establishing the programming. You're keeping it in check. So that's why it's hard for us to get out of this, because you're feeding parasites, you're feeding antigens, you're essentially feeding the disease. So, and then we pass it down to children by generation and generation and generation and generation. And look at the screen. Italy's birth rate declining. Singapore declining. Elon Musk, Vietnam, Japan, 14 million men still. These people are unnatural to the planet.
Yep.
So if we go back to our original topic, which is reparations, why the fuck are you asking for reparations from people that's not even going to be here much longer?
And they've only been here for
That's true,
6,000
and
years.
they want us out of here more than anyone else. What they're doing in Africa, they're going around, vaccinating people, the women. They don't want the African woman to have any children in 10 years. If she gets pregnant, she's gonna have a miscarriage. That's their plan, you know.
Yeah, so when you ask us why are we in the state that we're in, but we can look at what they're doing today, we can look at modern day colonization. Elon Musk is on the screen twice. He's performing modern day colonization every day.
I
He
understand that. I
scouts out. Hold
understand, but
on,
we're
Let
hold
her
not.
on, hold
We're
finish.
not
on, hold
fighting.
on. One second. He's scouting out new tribes new so-called tribes, remote groups of our people, and he's introducing them to things like corn,
Sugar.
wheat, sugar, technology. So modern day colonization is taking place every single day, and they tell you about it. So when you're asking like, oh, okay, how do we get here? Look at it's the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing that they've been doing over and over again. They just got better at selling it back to you. The more you shrunk in frequency.
You're looking for weapons that the police is using. The weapons that they first introduced with us was diseases and sugar. You see what I'm saying? Sugar is the worst thing for our brain. It shrinks and it shrinks our brain. It creates sulcuses in our brain. It separates all of the different portions and lobes of our brain, so they lose connections with each other. You see what I'm saying? So excuse me. We should not be eating meat. We should not be ingesting these people. These people have a whole different set of DNA than us.
That's true. That's true. That's why
but you're eating
they
them.
hate us.
So if you look at the screen, this is what these people look like with a sunblock on under a UV camera. And this is who we're literally asking for reparations from, people that are not even natural to this planet. People that have abnormal amounts of pheomelanin and eumelanin, which is animal melanin. And they will tell you that pheomelanin, they can only barely respond to visible light. So when it comes to eumelanin and pheomelanin, since they are on opposite ends of the spectrum of each other, sulfur and nitrogen based, I believe eumelanin is nitrogen based, and pheomelanin is sulfur based.
Yep.
So the thing is like, on a chemical level, when we start understanding melanin and understanding that there are 5 different types known to man, 3 that they say pertain to so-called humans, these people do not respond to the planet that they claim to be indigenous to, but we do. So we got to start understanding like this is a genetic so-called war. It's not about titles. It's not about nationality. It's not about ethnicities. It's not about culture. It's about the fact that there is a genetic stranger on the planet. And it does not just stop at YT people.
And we're being poisoned at alarming rates. Our blood is oversaturated with harmful toxins and chemicals and metals.
Yeah.
It's keeping us dense.
Yep.
So the flow of electricity and consciousness has been reduced. That's what's been going on.
Yeah. So that's what I want our people to understand more than anything else, is that these reparations that we're asking for these people from are animals, and we know it, and we talk about it, and we say cave bunny this, cave demon this, but we're asking for their money. We're asking them to heal us.
Wow.
We want them to save us from the misery that they put us in. So there's cognitive dissonance, which is a mental illness. There's a lot of deflecting. There's a lot of people that don't want to face the truth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't want to talk about our children and the things that are happening in our community for real. Yep. Notice nobody is asking for them to give us our children back. Out of all the statistics of missing children, nobody talks about our children and getting our children back. Nobody talks about the atrocities that they're actually doing. Everybody just want money. Somebody was live today. It was 200 people in a live. Reparations, cut the check.
And like, we care all about these inventions, but our greatest invention is the child.
Yeah, go ahead, keep it spicy. Facts.
Hello again. And yes, our greatest invention is the child. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I was on the live with our Skywatcher, and I forgot the other creator's name, about how women were reproducing without a male, without semen. And it goes back to that as well. And also, I definitely believe that it goes back to also a part of the religious aspect of the reason why BLK people, our people, are very left behind in a way. I don't know what anybody in here actually what your beliefs are, but in my opinion, that was also a part of a big reason why we are so blinded and so wishful thinking when it comes to the savior complexes we want these whitey people to have, or these other people to have when it comes to our own safety and well-being. We're still reaching for something that we're never going to get. So I definitely feel like everything, and it's just like us as a whole, as a people, like the more we keep straying away from the actual truth that lives within us, and it's more hard for any of us to actually protect the children that are being taken, that are being essayed, that are being raped and eaten. Still to this day, I genuinely don't believe that that's not happening, because it is. Like, you can't, the trafficking that goes on in this world, it's no way that they're still not taking and eating our kids and all that other stuff. But yeah, that's what I have to say.
Okay,
I wanted
gratitude for that. Go ahead, brother.
I wanted to speak on that too.
Mhm.
So I encourage everybody to go do some research on this. Now, if you eat McDonald's, if you eat Wendy's, if you eat any fast food, you're a cannibal, whether you realize it or not. It's not enough beef. This is common sense stuff, y'all. If you think about it, the time that it takes for a calf to turn into a full-grown heifer, it takes years. There is no way the amount of burgers, steaks, the amount of meat just in this country that we eat a day. There's no way. There's no way. And it's a shortage on meat. Chicken, beef. So what are you really eating? Put it to y'all like this. Think about people that you know who are vegan, who are vegetarian. You eat what you want to eat, but I'm just saying, really think about it. Use your common sense. Everyone you can go sit outside of I don't know, a Kava or, like a Whole Foods, right? Wegmans, and look at the people that are going in and out. Usually they're in shape. They look healthy. They're hygiene. They're well kempt. You can have a civil conversation with them, and then think about the people that you know that eat fast food on a daily basis. They're usually irrational, crazy, violent, overweight, have health issues, ignorant. So, what are you really eating? Are you eating beef? Are you really eating chicken? What are you really eating? You're eating people. I call them, so I'm not gonna say the J word. I call them small hats, right? I've had one tell me to my face, yes, we call y'all goyim. Y'all can look this shit up. They call us goyim, right? And in the Talmud, in their own book, their own God tells them that they can do whatever they want to us, right? They call us Gentiles, goyim, right? So they feed us our fetus. They're literally feeding us our fetuses. So the dead bodies that they're doing sacrifices and all these children that are going missing, right? What do you think they're doing with the remains after they do these rituals? And how do you think they're getting rid of the bodies? You have thousands of children that are going missing daily. What are they doing with the bodies? They got to go somewhere. They got to get rid of the evidence. We're eating it. Look it up. This is not my opinion. These are facts. You can look this up. We're literally eating human flesh. He told me this to my face.
Yeah, no, facts. And there was a video that was surfacing, but it didn't really get a lot of attention. But it was a video surfacing, I think it was somewhere in the Middle East, where they had bodies packaged up, and they were tandoriing the bodies. Like, if you've had Indian food before, how they tandoori meat, they were tandoori bodies, like they had like curry and shit on them. I'm not even joking. These were full grown bodies that they were cooking in like ovens, like large ovens.
Yep.
So, what he's saying is not, false. Like that's real. Like, and it's happening all over the globe, and it's been happening. And that's the reason why we're in the state that we're in. So that's why I asked her, "Do you eat meat?" Because everything that we've been doing for however long we've been doing it is the reason why we're in the state that we're in. It doesn't take a rocket science. Whatever you give your energy to is what's going to manifest, and collectively we're manifesting this system and staying here because we don't think that there's really a way out. So which is through the mind. And they tell you that even in the TV shows and in the movies, how they escape the matrix mentally, how it's a mental prison, when people talk about like, oh, Earth is a prison planet. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? This is a free planet that you forgot who you were on it. And mentally, you are in chains.
Yeah.
And all it takes for you to do is mentally undo the programming. And little by little, which is really not little by little, but we would begin to see a change instantaneously, because one single thought gets sent out 11 million miles out. You see what I'm saying? Every single last one of the thoughts that you have every day, we feel. But a lot of it is a lot of why we're not aware of it is because we're desensitized to feeling.
Yeah.
That's why whenever you do become specifically alkaline vegan and you alkaline your body, you begin to feel a lot. I don't know if that's the same for men, but as women, you begin to become way more sensitive to your surroundings, way more sensitive to just being able to feel and sense more. You hear a lot clearer because you're literally feeding your genetics, which is feeding the neuromelanin that's in the ear or feeding the neuromelanin that's in the eye. So now when I see things, because I used to wear glasses, I used to not be able to see. I've gotten in a couple of like not like accidents like with other cars, but just like dinging my side view mirror too close to a mailbox because I couldn't fucking see. Like, so the more I began to like cleanse my vessel, I began to see a lot more vivid. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually she said I haven't eaten meat in 12 years. I'm 24. Wow, that's tough. You see what I'm saying? That's super duper tough, and keep going. Because the more you clean your vessel, the more you actually see it. It took me about, I would say, well, you notice a difference within a week. You know what I'm saying? But being able to sense like how you have a higher
Higher sensory perception.
yes, I was trying to think of the next word. I couldn't think of perception. But yeah, that I was able to notice that around like the 1 year mark, about 8 months, 7-8 months. Yeah, I would say about like 6 to 12 months actually, and it just gets heightened from there.
And higher sensory perception, that's when you're dealing with metaphysics. You're dealing with telepathy. You're dealing with clairvoyance. You see what I'm saying? That's what she's talking about. Her vision was starting to be clear. You start to see the future now. You start to see different possibilities, a web of possibilities in your head. You start to think clearer. You see what I'm saying? When you clean your body, now you don't have ischemia anymore, because our people are dealing with ischemia. You see what I'm saying? Hardening of the arteries, meaning that your blood can't be transferring nutrients and vitamins all around the body how it's supposed to. So there's different blockages. But when you start eating clean, start being out in the sun more than 2 hours, my people, when you start doing all of that and drinking clean water, you start to see your blood, your energy. When you breathe, everything is more clean, more fresh. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is to be alive. You feel a sense of joy. That's what neuromelanin does. It synchronizes bodily functions. And when your bodily functions unsynchronized, you start moving as one, and your etheric body synchronizes with your physical body. You see what I'm saying? That's what's happening, a fusion. And nuclear fusion is happening right now within our genetics when the sun is hitting the cell of our melanocytes, our neuromelanocytes, our mechanoreceptors.
Yep, facts. And so that's why it's important, like he said, to be in the sun, but to eat bioelectric foods.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? You need to be eating foods filled with life because, like, she came in here saying, like, oh my gosh, like, we're defenseless people, da 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 da. See that? You got to understand if you're eating meat, if you're eating foods that's going to slow your system down, you're going to think your people are defenseless.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're literally manifesting that reality because you're feeding it. You know what I'm saying? When we say like, oh, this is a prison planet, like the air that you're breathing, whatever room that you're in, those the molecules that's in the water, like all of that is consciousness. Like for molecules to fuse together to create water, that is consciousness. For two atoms to come together, nuclear fusion, even when we're talking about binary fusion and fission, like all of that is consciousness. So when you're speaking things or when it's okay like to think things, but brain and heart coherence is how you manifest your reality. So if that information gets in the heart, that's what you're manifesting. That becomes the forefront of your life. So your deep rooted beliefs about your people, your deep rooted beliefs that you hold about the planet, this system, or whatever, is the reason why your life looks the way that it does, because of the mindset that you have. Not enough light coming into the brain. So it's important to eat bioelectric foods. It's important to be in the sun. Just like when we talk about these other people that talk that say like, oh, we all get vitamin D. Vitamin D is not the only thing that you're getting from the sun. And as a matter of fact, I just locked in on you don't actually get vitamin D from the sun. It's certain layers in the skin that convert the sun's energy into vitamin D. So for the YT people that come in here, they're talking about, oh, vitamin D, you're not biosynthesizing the sun. So
Yeah.
fuck vitamin D. When it comes to biosynthesis, pheomelanin and eumelanin cannot biosynthesize the full spectrum. But
You're
go
not
ahead.
changing it into chemical energy.
Facts. Go ahead, Tanias. Go ahead, Cosmic. On mute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just coming just to, you know, hit a conversation, just chime in every now and then.
Okay, what was your reason for why you came up?
Yeah. What do you think about the prompt?
I like these topics. I like hearing us, kind of go into the right direction, especially now with the world and everything else that's going on in the planet. Consciousness is like at an all-time high. A lot of people not being aware, but the mass awakening kind of going on right now. So these conversations I like to have. That's it. That's all.
Okay, so what did you want to add to it? What's up? We want to hear your thoughts, your frequency.
On the prompt, are we the same species? No, not really. Especially when I just speak for on these topics, I just speak for specifically Black Americans. I don't know nothing about Africans or nothing. I just speak specifically for our people. We completely different. We not all the same species down here. And there's a complete difference in behavior issues, when you go look at the genetics and everything. And, even on a physical level, just the things that happens that we not aware of that makes us different. So I don't believe we all the same species. Honestly, a lot of people don't like to hear this, but I honestly believe that we are the Anunnaki. We are the original beings that populated this planet long ago. Shit happened down here and we got degraded over all these generations. And now we are what we are today. And now we returning back to who we once were.
Okay, so gratitude for that. You said a few things. I just wanted to get I wanted to have you elaborate more on. Are you saying that so-called Black Americans and so-called African Americans are not the same, or who? Most of the time when we run this topic, people are talking about BLK versus everybody else or BLK versus white. But can you elaborate on what direction you're taking with this? Who does it boil down to in your opinion?
Um, that's why I say I only specify for just us over here in America because I know our history and our lineage and where we actually come from. I can't speak for the Africans and things like that. So I just keep it over here with us, our people over here in Black America. We ain't from no damn Africa. So I don't associate with nothing or anything that happened with Africa. Because we always been here. So I focus on us being here. We was the originals on this plane. We always been here since the beginning. We did multiple shit before we even came to Earth, so I just keep it to here, to us in Black America.
Okay, what about everybody else? Do you think you're the same species as them?
No, the human race is a bunch of people, part of the human race. Your whites, your Mexicans, your red skinned Native Americans, or what they want to call, whatever they want to call themselves. The Chinese, Japanese, those are like, it's a complete difference between us and these people. A complete difference. We not all the same species. We actually well, from what I know, we are actually the supreme gods of the universe. And these people are just humans.
Got you. Go ahead. African Americans ain't. Damn, it's a long ass. African. Go ahead.
African Americans ain't Africans. The young man said, we've been here forever. So did you call yourselves black, or did somebody come over here and call you black?
Yeah, somebody came over here and called us black, but I really just want to go off. When it comes to that though, we really don't have anything to call ourselves. We can call ourselves the Anunnaki, the indigenous, and things like that, but these are just made up names from the government to try to explain and try to put words to who we actually were and what we are. So our actual name, I can't remember it. It can't even be spoken in this tongue. So I just clarified as us over here in Black America. I know we not really black and things like that. You could say we copper color, or to the actual fact of the matter, we are beings of multiple colors, but because of the oxygen, we became rusted. So I'm aware of all that. I just dumb it down.
Dumb it down for who?
Just dumb it down so people can understand better.
Don't your children are listening. Don't dumb it down, because that's what happened to you. Who did your people call themselves before other people started calling them black, African America, jigaboo, snitch? Who were you? Who did you refer to yourself as? Who did your grandparents refer to themselves as, your great grandparents? And one more question. If this is English, how come the people in England don't sound like this? Their language is totally different. Their spelling.
I got a question for you, brother. You said who did your what title did your grandparents go by? So like when we're talking about our grandparents, like a generation or two back, is really not giving us our true identity before we came in contact with these people.
Okay.
So when we're talking about coming in contact with these people, we're not just talking about YT people,
Okay.
right? So we would have to take it back to at least the Asiatic slave trade, which is where I'm hearing my people have an issue with, because we're too caught up in the titles now to understand that we're all the same people through embryology. So these titles have led us astray, and now we don't know who's who. So now we're trying to compare trauma, we're trying to compare poison, we're trying to compare titles and saying that, oh, they're not our people, or I'm not from Africa, or the Africans ain't us, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. I don't think we understand the way land is created. I don't think I don't think we understand how this land mass was created. Everybody is just looking at each other and our earth through the white man, the Arab, and the Asian man's lens. Nobody actually can tell me the truth about who they are, because our identity is rooted in these people's system. So I just wanted to say, to you, like, how do you feel about that? Like, what I just said, because I wanted to respond before Tanias did.
Well, will I be able to speak and explain myself?
Absolutely. We don't do any over talking in here. We let each other speak one at a time. Go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. Obviously, you've done a genealogy profile on yourself, right?
Barely.
Okay, so listen, if you always tell the truth, always tell the truth, that's how you'll know what black people, African Americans, all these do. Their language is lie because they don't know. I tell you this because you won't believe me because it'll sound so crazy. Do a genealogy on yourself. Go back at least until early 1800s. You'll learn so much. The names that are over here, Chittimacha in Louisiana, Accomack in Virginia, Lettahatchee in Alabama. You, Earth, Wind, and Fire told you it's in the stone. Your people's cities are still there. That's why you have to do a genealogy on yourself to find out who you are. You pass by them every day. It's a place in Birmingham on the freeway. Everybody passes through it every day called the Tallapoosa. If you just do a simple, you can just accidentally type in, who are the Tallapoosa? When they have the 13 colonies, the people who were running from the wars over in the 13 colonies were coming over to Georgia, from Georgia to Alabama. They were called the Tallapoosa. All that land, from Alabama to Georgia, Tallapoosa. This is why you have to look it up. Don't let nobody tell you. You do it. Don't, because you would sound dumber than the person that was telling you. You do it. What are all these names? What do they mean? They're you. They're you. And we don't do that. Do some genealogy. That's everybody on this post. Do some genealogy on that. Find out who your mama's, grandmama's, granddaddy would. Go back to the 1800s. That's simple. That's easy. You'll be 100 times smarter than you are now. It's about you, not about nobody else, not the Somalians, not George Floyd, none of that. It's about you. And unfortunately, we're not getting it and arrogant about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all finish doing y'all thing. Do some genealogy on yourself. Your
But I
mama,
have, brother. I've done
uh,
genealogy back to 1790 on one side. But the thing is that every single title, every single document, every single thing I was looking at came from the white man. So
you
the
don't look.
titles, hold on, brother, because I asked you a very simple question. I said before that, if excuse me, the 1800s is not telling me anything about my people. That's only telling us how we, that's colonization. That's after we fell for slavery. That's after we were psychologically harmed. That's after we fell for his rhetoric. That's not telling me who my people are at all. So
Listen,
we got to actually look at the planet itself. We can look at the stories of birds, trees, the animals around us, the insects, and they're telling a much greater story than what this white man is telling us. And they're telling us that everything used to be much greater in size, everything used to be in harmony, that we share genetics and biology to the planet. So it makes no sense for us to be asking a genetic stranger, somebody that doesn't share biology with this planet, for fucking reparations and who I am.
Can I,
That doesn't do anything for our people. That keeps us connected to this system, and we're just passing down indoctrination by generation and by generation. So we're not freeing each other if we're staying in this system.
can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of this stuff too, you really don't got to do no genealogy or anything just like that, because we got to understand what the soul is and what it's capable of. When your soul into these vessels, it uploads the memories of every previous life or everything that you done did before this experience. Your soul holds that. You know, so when you come into these vessels, a lot of us are not fasting, a lot of us not meditating, working out, doing these things to activate these memories. So when they come to find out who you are, you have the codes within you through your soul. But are you willing to do the things it takes to know who you truly are and what you have already been through in this life? A lot of us already know the answers because we did the inner work to see what this place is, and we out here combating against people that ain't doing nothing and just going off of things that people give us and reading books and stuff like that. But a lot of people are doing the inner work to find out who we actually are and where we actually come from. You know, so all the
That is inner
genealogy,
work.
yeah,
You see what I'm
it really
saying?
is.
Looking at the planet, are you not connected to nature? That's reality, because the other day I was on here, a sister told me, oh, if y'all want to hug trees, keep doing that, but this is about reality. I said, damn, so the trees don't help you breathe? They not real? They don't exist in your reality? So the things that we are ignoring is where our true identity actually is. So we don't want to talk to the trees, and to be honest, the trees don't want to talk to us because we forgot who the fuck we were. We forgot about our children. We forgot about harmony. We forgot about unity. We forgot that we are connected. Now I heard you say something earlier about being copper colored, and we fell to this rusted state. We're not even supposed to be these colors. So then how do we take pride in being copper colored Indian? How do we take pride in this when this is oppression? This is this is you coining and putting a cherry on top of the oppression. This is a byproduct of him, everything that he's done. Now you're in a rusted state. So when you talk about the oxygen, facts, you know what I'm saying? But we don't, you saying oxygen, what about the other interstellar gases and
Yeah.
nano diamonds that's powering up your soup right now? Because he
Uh-huh.
got you thinking that this is just about oxygen. You see what I'm saying?
And that's why the suit is rusted, because it's heavily oxidized from free radicals, oxygen species. You see what I'm saying? Different pyomelanin that these people were splicing and are eukaryotic that affect, you see what I'm saying, your environment. You see what I'm saying? And they affect the anatomy.
Yeah.
So our skin, the largest organ, is rust. We're rust right now. We're supposed to be green.
Yeah,
We're supposed to, if
blue.
you actually see
Yeah.
the cosmos, we're supposed to be emitting those colors walking around on the planet, but
Facts.
we're literal stars. So
See,
I want our people to know that we're literal stars. There's no, all of these names down here is nothing.
That shrinks
That
your
shrinks your
mhm.
consciousness. You're connected to stars because you are a star. The same primitive streak that happens inside of our woman is the same cosmic streak that happens inside of space when stars are born. She literally gives birth to stars.
Facts. Go ahead, see he left. You see what
He
I'm
dropped,
saying?
you heard me?
That's
Hey,
hold
I
on, look.
see that.
Oh, you said what you say, brother? What did
Man, I see that he dropped. He was feeling the frequency, the energy. He up out of it. He tripping.
every time. See, I'm telling you, y'all might not want to hear this, but the elders gonna have to get out our way, man.
Mhm.
All of y'all that's pushing that type of rhetoric and shit, y'all gonna have to get the fuck out our way, because the children is coming with a whole different type of energy, man.
Yeah.
Y'all in here with this lame shit that's keeping us here, and the children with the consciousness of the planet, they not going for that. So all, like how we come to the internet and we talking about reparations and shit, wait until the children give it about 3 years and see if they don't start firing that ass up, because this what we doing right here is embarrassing. It makes no sense. I used to be so confused as a child, like 5th grade, 6th grade. I used to be confused. The first time I heard about slavery was 5th grade. My people didn't even tell me about that shit. I didn't know about that was going on until a white man told me about it. And then here come all the questions. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is like, we can't keep allowing these people to teach our children a skewed narrative about who they are. That's why we're in the mess that we're in. You see what I'm saying? And when it comes to the behavior of these people, I don't understand how reparations is going to fix it. It's their behavior, it's their gene expression. So and another thing I wanted to put on the screen here,
Mm.
actually, give me 1 second with this one. Let's talk about it's kind of cut off, but it's fine because y'all can still see it. This is actually the definition of hybrid. It says hybrid is the offspring of different species, breeds, I think that was saying varieties or a product of joining two or more technologies, but skip all of that. Do you see how it says commonly used in biology? And it says interbred organisms. What is that right there in the middle of the screen? Does that say mules?
Mm-hmm.
So y'all are asking for 40 acres and an hybridized animal. Like I was looking through the stuff today, and Zell has a collage where he's actually breaking down the definition of hybrid, and he's comparing the I don't know, the albino with the hybrids, the actual
Yeah.
hybrids, and he's breaking down the genetic differences like between our albino and like the Dravidian albino. I haven't seen
Yes.
that shit in like over a year. I
Yep.
looked at it today, I said, let me check to see if they haven't fucked with the definition, and there it is.
And that's what the white man is. He's just an albino Dravidian because the Dravidian is the Arab that predates him. And then what
Yeah,
predates the Arab is the Asian.
Asian.
And the Asians enslaved us first. And we're so focused on the transatlantic slave trade, we're not worried about all the other times these people even raped us to even get us in that condition.
Yeah, that's the
That's the
thing.
thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, how we only going back 1800 to 1800s
Man.
when they've been infecting our DNA? They've been putting diseases in on our DNA for
Oh shit.
4,000 years.
I forgot. This is not the
4,000
topic we
years they've
doing
been
no
doing
more.
that. So we should be understanding that they're only a 6,000-year-old species, and they have a creator. They're just pawns. They're just performing the psychological and physical acts of somebody else who
Yep.
programmed their DNA to do
DNA.
that
Thank
because they
you.
were created. They're synthetic organisms. So that means something created them.
Yeah.
And that's what eukaryotic cell means. It means truly seeded nucleus. Somebody truly seeded DNA from different organisms within a cell to create an organism. And this organism is meant to divide and separate the natural species by genetically expressing their virus acts. You see what I'm saying? On us.
Yeah, I'm reading the comments because I was switching the screen. I think somebody on the panel wanted to say something, but
Oh, yeah, go
transatlantic
ahead.
slave trade was about the people that was already. Taniyas, did you want to say something, or else I'm gonna let the sister go?
She could go. I'm just listening right now.
Okay, go ahead, Brown Sugar. Welcome up, sis. Greetings.
Hey,
But
hey, hey. Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, I was just hearing all the conversation about the transatlantic slave trade. That's what I was putting in the comments. What about the people that was already here on the land? I really don't be like a lot of times understanding the hyper focus on that. When you study the lands, it was already people here. Like this is all written in history about the people that was already here living with communities. Actually, they just in court admitted that these people were here on this land January 8th, 2026. You know, did a whole court hearing and everything, talking to the Chata tribe who helped them defeat the British in order to expand America. So I mean, it was like thriving communities of people who look like you and I already here. They even acknowledged that in court that they when they arrived that these people were here. It says prior to British, France, and England and the United States that they were already here with villages and waterways and stuff. This is recorded in court. So I'm not sure why everybody keep hyper focusing as if all of us came through that transatlantic slave trade because we all didn't.
It's
And you
not a.
also can see that in the reclassification. I just always hear conversations. I never hear anybody speak of the people that was here. It's always a hyper focus on the transatlantic slave trade.
Nah, I've been saying that your DNA is connected to the entire globe. That's been my message for the last 2 years. It's not about America versus Africa or any other landmass because all the land is the same. You have to understand the
No, I'm
way
just
land is
asking a
actually.
question.
Yeah, I
let her
know. I'm
finish.
just responding to you. I'm not coming at you. My bad. I'm not trying to sound too harsh. But what I've been saying the entire live is that our DNA and our genetics connects us to the entire globe. It's not even about the transatlantic slave trade. Of course, we were already on this landmass. All of us were already on this landmass. Global colonization took place on a global scale. So we not just battling oppression here. Through embryology, we're connected to the people that we want to deny in Africa. Because when I say African, to be honest, I don't really know who my people are talking about because Elon Musk is over there. There's white people over there. There's Arabs that also fall under these titles, even here in America. There's a lot of so-called biracial people that are actually white or actually Mexican or actually Asian that are classifying themselves as black. So the point that I'm trying to make is that the more that we understand genetics, the more that we understand how DNA is passed down, you'll know who's who. The X chromosome rules throughout your entire anatomy. Whatever the mother is whatever the child is. So when we take the title out of it, then it just becomes about DNA, which is what you truly are. You see what I'm saying? If Elon Musk is African, but we know that there are people that share the same base phenotype as us in Africa, then the title don't matter. If both of us is under the same title, then that shit don't matter. We got to start having a discussion about DNA. So that's why I'm asking, are we the same species? So it sounds like there's two people on the panel that think that the so-called Africans aren't us. Can we have y'all elaborate on that if that's what I'm hearing?
Well, first of all, I didn't mention a title. I said I'm confused at the hyper focus on the transatlantic slave trade when there were already people here on the earth. I didn't mention a title or label or name. Okay. In addition to that, I wasn't denying anybody anything. I was just acknowledging that there were people here already on the land. I'm not sure where the emotional response came from.
It's emotional because I speak
Okay,
with
I got to
passion, but
go.
it's not towards you, and that's what I express. It's not, I'm not, and she just left. I don't like how the fucking elders come in here, vomit, and leave. I've
Can
been
I say?
talking with the 1 second. I've been
Okay.
talking with the same intensity the entire time I've been live, no matter who comes in here. So that's the thing. When you stand for the truth, then you speak with intensity, whatever your truth is. When we on them panels talking about reparations, y'all calling each other names, cussing each other out,
Yeah.
and nobody is standing for respect or unity in those conversations. But when somebody starts speaking passion for real, oh, I don't understand the emotional response. Look at the state of our people, though. That's what I'm live about. That's what I started this whole thing about. Was we are being psychologically, medically, and evaluated by the same people we asking for health care from.
When we talked about the children
So
going missing and everything,
nobody said a fuck
you didn't
thing.
want to come up for
Niggas didn't
that.
say nothing about the
But when we
children.
talking about the how we were enslaved, you worried about that. We telling you that all black people, no matter where we are on the planet, we have a same base DNA genotype, which is neuromelanin, and we have the same base phenotype, and we have seeded every planet that is in the universe. We are everywhere. We are ubiquitous. And you keep worrying about, oh, we were
Transatlantic slave trade.
and
We
you keep
talking about the cosmos.
and you keep saying, oh, you're not saying nothing about the people in this land. I'm telling you that this whole planet, we were here first.
Yeah.
You worried about the land first. I'm telling you the whole planet, we were here first. Like
Look,
what?
look.
You
This.
want you want the side? I'm giving you the whole meal. Like what's good?
Yeah.
That's
Yo,
how I don't get it.
I'm gonna let L respond, and then we'll introduce the sister Pretty Face. Go ahead, L.
So y'all, what I said earlier has been proven correct by the last two, elders that came in here. I told you I'll be 40 this year, and that's why I love what y'all doing. Most people my age and older, they not trying to hear what y'all talking about. They're on a whole different. Y'all are vibrating. I'm sitting here listening to the rhetoric that y'all using alone. They don't know what the hell y'all talk about. They don't know.
Nah,
So
for real. But that's the problem, But abundance. Let me get to Pretty Face. Go ahead, my sister.
Abundance.
Hello, you guys can call me Jay or Jen,
Uh,
or whatever's comfortable for you. I'm 24, and I was wondering for the prompt, who is it? We're comparing melanated people to unmelanated people.
Well, all people have melanin, but it's just how you perceive it. Like, do you think that YT people are the same as us? Do you think that BLK people are not the same as Africans? Like, it's really just your take, which angle you want to take with it.
I think that YT people are not the same species. To be honest with you, if we know how these people came into existence, we know that they're more animal, beast than human. So I don't think they're the same species as us.
Facts, they're not. They are electroporated species. They have multiple different genetics that are shared with unnatural animals, plants, insects, and microorganisms. They're actually the true humans because hue means animal, so they are the animal man. They share, depending on which scientists you're listening to or reading under, they have 25 to 30,000 uh different
Genes that they share
yeah,
with different
genes.
organisms.
Yeah, 25 to 30,000. And more than half or right about half is animals. And the rest is the plants, the insects, the microorganisms. So they're not the same. We don't stem from the same embryological origin. Their origin again is introgression, and ours is through biogenesis, how stars are created, binary fusion, prokaryotes versus eukaryotes. So abundance for that and gratitude. Tanayas, did you want to say something? I seen you had came off mute earlier.
Yeah, you said something earlier. You said y'all been talking a whole bunch of stuff. I'm glad I came in this panel because I really been struggling finding people on the same frequency, wavelength to where, the stuff that I say or think about or talk about, people can reciprocate it, and the fact that I met y'all is kind of crazy. But it's I you said something earlier, and I've been feeling that way for a while. Like it really is embarrassing for us to be keep calling ourselves black, or some people wake up and they find out, oh, we not black, we copper color and things like that. Like we, it's like embarrassing because at one point in time, like you were saying earlier, and we were multicolored beings, like we were beings of colors of all spectrum, and it's kind of crazy and embarrassing too that, like what we doing now and how we living now is embarrassing as fuck, especially knowing how we used to live and the things that we created and who we actually were at one point in time. So all of this now is kind of like, honestly, to me right now, being conscious is kind of like played out, because a lot of people wake up, they get a little bit of knowledge and they get stuck there. Like you got people out here that's saying we the indigenous Indians, but they don't go as far back as to who were the Indians before they were called the Indians. Like people just get stuck with so much, stuck on certain information. They feel like that's it for them. And it's kind of embarrassing the state that we at right now. Even though consciousness raising, it's still like people stuck and it's all about information. And it really is kind of embarrassing, because we were mighty at one point in time, and to get this low, it's crazy.
Yeah, literally. That's what I'm saying. The title keeps you in that frequency because now, first of all of your cells listen to your thoughts. All 150 trillion of your cells listen to your thoughts. And this is what biological changes begin to be created in your reality based off of the thoughts in your mood. That's the reason why the food is the way that it is. The blue light, everything that they're doing is to influence your mood because 40 to 60% of your IQ comes from your mother. When she's crafting you in her womb, um the one of the first things that she creates is the cerebral cortex, the brain, the your central nervous system. And so you inherit your mother's nervous system. And so the majority excuse me, the majority of the way that you think and feel comes from your mother, how you respond to things, but the residual effect is an influence on from your environment. So they have to make sure that they keep you in low frequencies, that they put you next to dirty water, that they poison the air. Even the what was that? The Masonic Creed talks about how every corner that they turn will be poison. Every place that they go, they will make sure that it is infiltrated with poison. This is how the 13 bloodlines that he was talking about earlier, this is how they talk about us. So when we're looking at white people, Asians, and Arabs, we got to understand that they're pawns, that they're fulfilling orders from people above them. And these people that are these 13 bloodlines, black nobility group, Rockefellers, all those different names and stuff like that, these are people in these different eukaryotic suits. That's why they have to harness our energy, because they need vitality. And I'm gonna show you two of them right here. I think I got them fit to the screen. I spent like 2-3 hours trying to like get all the pictures together, and I still have like 4 hours left to go.
It isn't really the eukaryotic cell. It's the reptilians.
Facts.
It's them. It's Pindar, Moloch. These are the people that are really putting this psychological entrapment on us. It's not really the white people, like you said.
Facts.
These people are they're not psychologically capable enough to plan this out for 500,000 years when they've only been alive for 6,000 years.
Facts.
Do you know about the Anunnaki?
Yeah.
Tania.
I guess Cosmic Saint. I just spell it backwards, and yeah, I do.
So, do you know that they talked about creating other species?
Yeah, and this whole story with the YT race and a bunch of other species like the Chinese and the red skinned Indians and stuff come from. They all part of the Homo sapiens, the Homo erectus, Homo Neanderthals, the Homo sapiens sapiens. You know, they all come from that.
So I was trying to get at, because you said the reptilians are giving these people the information.
No, that wasn't me. That was somebody else.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
it was me that was saying it. I'm the co-host. You see what I'm saying, with Skywatcher. That was me saying that, because when you look at statues all over South America, when you look at statue in Australia and different petroglyphs of the Sumerian tablets, they show you that reptilians and other creatures with wings and bird-like features stealing the consciousness or pineal glands or pine cones from so-called black people. And they also show you in different petroglyphs that they're genetically splicing different animals together to create an organism. And when you actually look at the history of white people and all that, they didn't come out of caves. They were on leashes first. You see what I'm saying? These people were unable to reproduce. They had hypertrichosis. They were very hairy. They had cutaneous horns, which you could see that scientists are coming out with videos today that they have cutaneous horns. So they used to have tails, vestigial tails. So
Still got them.
So, yeah, they still got them. So Anunnaki just means those who came from above. So that can mean anybody. So it doesn't mean so-called black people. Look, I'm just answering your question because you was asking. So Anunnaki doesn't mean that black people came from the stars and then created these people. It just means that a species came from outside of the planet or a different part of the planet.
But it also refers to the fact that they are the ones who created the reptilians, right?
The reptilians weren't created by the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki is the reptilians, is what I'm telling you. It's the reptilians amongst insectoids, Arcturians, is these different extraterrestrials, inner Earth, and all of these different these different extraterrestrials and inner terrestrials are working together to keep us at a extremely low frequency psychologically, and for us to abandon our children. That's what's happening. And when you see right now what's happening with our people, we have abandoned our children and we are consistently poisoning ourselves and fighting amongst ourselves. So these people, nothing outside of us divided us. It was our people that divided us. We divided ourselves. Because when you look at the etymology of an atom, which is what we are, it says that which cannot be divided. You see what I'm saying? And the only reason why now you see the so-called black man, the so-called black woman, and our children all divided, the elders divided from the youth, all of that is because we forgot the oneness within ourselves. We forgot who we was, and we forgot that we're not the only life forms on the planet that is psychologically intelligent to communicate with life. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there's different scientists explaining how there's extraterrestrials all over the planet that have been genetically spliced, and it's all over stones and the hardest stone known to man.
So
my point was is that the Anunnaki created the reptilians. And so with that being said, I don't think that these Caucasian people are acting on the behalf of the reptilians. I think they're acting on the behalf of the Anunnaki. Like you said, the fallen. So I and this is my theory. So
So is
I
your
think that
theory.
the this just food for thought. I think that the Anunnaki came here because they were banished from their high vibrating dimension, probably from the creator's land. And I also think that God is much more physical than what we think. I think that's why we have a hard time assimilating to this imaginary shit. So I think that when they got casted down and ended up being banished here, that they resented us because of whatever reason. And they hated us so much that they actually wanted to create another species to put us through turmoil and torment. And I think that's where their failed experiments, like what it was, the reptilians. I think that's where they came from. Because I also heard that there were several other species that the Anunnaki created, and were failed, and the
Okay,
only one that stuck
okay.
was the
I ain't
Wachi.
gonna lie, my sister. You telling me things that you think, your theories and all of this. I'm telling you things that's on stone. I'm telling you genetics. I'm telling you what scientists have came out, historians have came out in documentaries and said that there's more life on the planet than they have admitted. I'm telling you about that. I'm not talking about what I think I know. Anunnaki, reptilian, these are just titles. These people can shapeshift. They can go into human bodies as well and operate them. That's what your politicians, your Elon Musk, these are reptilians doing this. These are your Anunnaki people. You see what I'm saying? And
All right,
they
so
and right
let me say
now,
it in a
hold on
better
for a
term.
second. Hold on for a second. Right now, every government on the planet is getting ready to introduce their creator. You see what I'm saying? All the eukaryotic governments, they're actually working together. Everything that you see on the news is just a facade. They're just playing. They all working together because they all have a treaty for us to not go to Antarctica. So that means that these people are in constant communication with each other
Cahoots.
behind closed doors. So hold on for a second. I'm trying to speak, and I'm not trying to cut. I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm not trying to be cut off either, because
You did cut me off, and then you went into a long
All
speech when I
right,
asked you
so
one
I'm
question.
gonna just do this. Let's get back on topic for a second. So the whole point in me having this on the screen right here is that when I mentioned about them having us next to dirty water, if you watch this documentary that is about water, the CEO of this water company said that the water that we're drinking, even in the bottled waters, of course the aquamated water that's coming out of the sinks and stuff like that, is dirty. So these people are behind closed doors in their homes. They took us into their homes in this documentary. They are bathing in the so-called most pure water possible because they need a way to stay here and sustain life. The bodies that these people shapeshift into are always elderly white bodies because that's the lowest like density that they can operate that body in. That's the best body for them to shapeshift in, and that's the reason why it's caught on camera a lot of the times. Their eyes shifting, things of the sort. But all over the globe, there's videos, there's pictures, there's articles about more life forms that are coming online on the planet. Like Mexico is getting smacked right now with tree frogs with long ass fucking tails that's going viral over there. All of your so-called Sasquatches and Yetis are starting to be seen more now because they're unable to keep this from the media like that. Everything is being revealed. A lot of their solar tech, a lot of their tech in general is starting to crash. Um, their whole system is actually crashing. So I just wanted to put this, you can research this man right now. He's the CEO of that company. Damn, I wish I knew the name of that video. I think it's like water consciousness. I'll find it, and because y'all need to actually see what they're doing to the water and why that's so important to them and why they have you in the state that you're in. So yeah, I just wanted to say that it's other life forms here than just so-called humans. You can study the genetics of the grays. Or I keep putting this one on here. My bad, y'all. Um, they even classify octopus as extraterrestrial. They classify praying mantis as extraterrestrial. So once we start understanding genetics, it's gonna become very clear to you who's who. That's for sure.
I don't mean to argue with you, co-host. I am receptive to the information, and as I did a quick Google search, it turns out that they are the reptilians, which is they say they're from a planet Nibiru. This would be the first time I heard about
Alright.
the Anunnaki being reptilians. What I did hear is that they were giants. Were they both?
So this is what I wanted to say quickly. I mean, respect to the panel. I love the live. Respect to the god and the goddess behind this panel. They are doing an amazing level of work together. So the misconception is that what we got to realize is our spines are a complete genetical all in all system, right? The spine is an extended tail, right? And the spine ascends from the all in all motion from outside the cosmos, right? Our spines are made outside Earth, right? Which means, yes, we are part of nature or we are part of the cosmos. Now, that being said, when we go into Mesoamerican agricultures, such as our melanated agricultures, Mayan, Olmec, Aztec, it's got representations, or even Asian, Japanese, Chinese mythology. It's got representations of dragons, serpents, snakes, cobras, to represent that these states or species or these embodiments are a part of our nature, and they are a part of our ascension of being a part of the all in all existence of consciousness or nature. Because to understand, everything come from the waters. Everything in earth come from the waters. And again, I know it can be a little bit crazy, but my point is our bodies were made outside earth, right? The first person to actually ascend down here was the woman, but before the woman was able to embody her element or her final perfection, she had created through the waters first, and the waters turned to stars, and then the stars turned into um planets, like polarizations. The stars were able to see things, if that makes sense. So we ascend from the waters. Creation starts through disorder to order. It all starts through disorder to order. It doesn't just start instantly, but it goes from disorder to order. So it goes in a calculation of 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to number 5 to number 6 to number 7 to number 8. Then we stop at number 9, because number 9 is the highest number, which also represents her or she, the feminine. But my point is that we are Homo sapien sapient, which means we are extraterrestrials on land, or we are Homo sapien sapient, breathing through the living air. Air could either be a particle or another density of liquid or water. So we are Homo sapien sapient. We have spines, we have tails. Yes, we are Homo sapien sapient. This is why in your agricultures, it's got dragons, it's got cobras. In Hindu mythology, it's got cobras, it's got snakes, it's got serpents, because that represents the wisdom or the spine, or it represents the ascension of our nature, our lowest capacity, our lowest animalistic state, which goes back to earth or being a spirit, right? The lowest part of the body is the red chakra, which goes back to the kundalini energy or the cobra, of where you can ascend through that spine and reach your highest, sharpest point for your chakra or your spine or your kingdom, right? The what we're down here to do is to not just remember who we are, but have a balance and re-align with our system, and remember not to fear, and remember that we are a part of the all-know consciousnesses, or remember that we are part of the cosmos. You know, we got stardust inside of us, we got gold inside of us, you know, we got titanium, we got elements inside of us, you know, copper, etc. The whole earth is literally reacting and reciprocating, going back to melanated individuals. The whole earth literally is stagnant and vibrating off the highest melanin point, which is melanated copper toned,
Land, please land.
which is melanated copper toned individuals. The earth is reacting or radiating or stagnant from the highest state of individuals, which were melanated copper toned individuals that descend from the stars. But before the stars, they came from the waters of Nun, or swimming through the womb, or her, or she, and she was first to create God, which is the man, and that's the goddess.
Okay, gratitude for you sharing your frequency. We are not humans or Homo sapiens, and we do not have vestigial tails. So the tails that you're referring to from dragons and different reptiles are not, they don't have the same genetics. They have a single set of their own chromosomes. They have their own specific genetic coding that's completely different from ours, although we both function like prokaryotes in nature. So prokaryotes are essentially organisms whose genetic material stems from one origin. So that doesn't make us the same as elephants just because they're prokaryotes, or the same as praying mantis. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to Homo sapiens, that's saying that you believe in evolution, but you started off talking about how we come from the stars. You don't get neuromelanin, which is the stardust that you're referring to, the only biochemical substance that can condense sunlight, and it's condensed sunlight on its own. You don't get that biopolymer. It does not create unnatural and abnormal amounts of pheo and eumelanated individuals. That has never been proven to have happened. We cannot confuse evolution with biogenesis and biogenesis with spontaneous generation.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, okay. Okay. Can we agree that our bodies or our spine, all right, our creation was thought before the planet?
Creation and parthenogenesis, like how you're talking about the BOK woman gives birth to the man, that's done through parthenogenesis.
Okay.
That origin, when you're talking about the planet, is expressed through biogenesis.
Okay.
Spontaneous.
Even before parthenogenesis, you know, the
Yeah,
design,
but
the
you cut me
intellect.
off. What I'm saying is that parthenogenesis or conception period begins in the mind. So this is what I was talking about earlier in the live. Molecules coming together to form water. Water, they do that through consciousness. Everything, how you were saying, oh, this began first, then that began second, then that. No, everything began simultaneous, because this is the electron that we're talking about, the proton and the electron. When you look at the Big Bang Theory, life is began simultaneous. Even when stars unalive, it's still the same energy as a star being born. So there, you got to understand how things expand through the quantum before we get to macrocosm.
Can I
And
ask a
hold
question?
on,
Oh,
yeah, she had a
okay.
question. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
So I seen in the comments because he mentioned something about Kundalini. It says when the Kundalini is awakened, the effects can be detrimental. I have been. I'm sorry if this is off topic, but I have been interested in Kundalini and awakening my Kundalini. Is this statement true that it can be detrimental if awakened?
Can I?
Okay,
It can higher your
first of
vibration.
all,
It can higher your
first of
vibration, but they don't want you to unlock these things, and this is what reality.
1 second, y'all. um when it comes to that comment did not come from me, so I don't even agree with that comment. So kundalini being awakened being detrimental, detrimental how? Is that negative? Is that a positive thing? I don't know. Anytime when we're talking about consciousness and becoming aware, It's about what the individual is becoming aware to. We're all in different frequencies. So it's not really a negative thing to become aware, but people become aware to MK Ultra versus other people becoming aware of the conversation that we're having, that you're not the body. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, what did call me a mentee want to, like, what are you saying?
Right, so
Want to stay on topic.
yeah, just quickly in it, the chakras just helps you open up abilities and you can connect to more skills. And they say that we have 5 senses, but not believe. Well, I can manifest or possibly know that we have 9 senses or more than 9 senses. So if you want to connect towards your higher senses, the 9 senses or 20 senses or the 99 senses, because the body's infinite, you're able to do that. But you would have to be strict on yourself, structure, the words that you use, the language, affirmations. You
So
got to practice.
call me a mentee. Are we the same species when it comes to BLK people and everybody outside of who we are? Are we all the same species?
No, we're not all the same species.
Okay. So then why did you say that we're Homo sapiens?
Because the first creation is Homo sapien anyway. Like, what are you talking about?
The first creation was not Homo floresiensis, and Homo erectus comes before Homo
Oh, you want
sapiens.
to you want to take it there and be smart? Okay, let's do it. Cause
No,
we
what
go.
do you mean?
Let's do
Like,
it.
no.
Let's do it. Let's do
No,
it.
the thing is, you're talking about organisms, right?
Yeah, let's talk about the
The
erectus.
first organism,
Okay. Y'all got it. Yeah.
the first organism to be on this planet was a prokaryotic cell organism. That's the first organism,
And that's correct.
and that's what we are. We are not Homo sapiens.
Hold on.
We are not Homo sapiens.
Okay,
The
that's
way our
correct.
body, we don't have no animal DNA. We don't have animal characteristics. Animals have our characteristics because we are the original organic beings of the universe. We seeded all planets.
So you're saying,
So we're beyond any name of animals or taxonomy of animals or taxonomy of anything.
all
We
right.
are a species that can be in the invisible matter and create matter and utilize matter and can transfer energy throughout all states of matter without losing our internal structure. That's the species that we are.
I just wish individuals could connect and be more open for convos, and not use subliminals. But it's okay, everyone's got their understanding of what they are.
Use
And,
a subliminal then. Kind of contradictory.
I contradicted it.
Yeah. You just use a subliminal just then. So come on now,
I
let's
mean, I
get.
mean, the individual said that animals gain their animalistic traits or measures from us, and I'll leave it there. So,
Who said that? You were the only one. You're the one that said that we were the dragons, and you were
hold
trying to
on,
say
hold on,
that's
hold
the
on. I
reason
didn't,
why we had
I didn't
tails.
say
Yeah,
what I said.
and what I said
I can't even
specifically,
speak
or
now.
what? No, you said what you trying to say. What I said, you was trying to speak for me. So I'm trying to explain clearly and be concise on what I really said. I said the features like of the animals, like their ability to how they interact with nature energetically. They got that from us, is what I'm saying, because the electron and proton that they're made up of are miniature black women and men. You see what I'm saying? That's what creates physical reality. We're living in a mental light universe, vibrational universe, which is made up of protons and electrons. And the electron is the first particle to ever exist, the carrier of memory. You see what I'm saying? And that's the so-called black woman. So she's not a Homo sapien. She's not an animal DNA organism. She's not a eukaryotic organism.
All
All
right,
her genetic information is solar magnetic, is neuromelanin, is hydrogen, helium, carbon,
that's
oxygen,
that's
and
amazing.
nitrogen.
That's
That's
amazing
what she
knowledge.
is.
That's amazing knowledge because that's actually correct. You're actually right. That's the specific. Again, the way how you individuals word things, the feminine as well on this platform. She's really smart as well. I'm not gonna lie about that. She's really smart about things, talking about Stardust and that. But okay. So can we talk about the Erectus?
What about it?
Okay, what do we? Okay, so what's the erectus then in this perspective? Like, what do we think is the erectus? Because the erectus would be a state before having a soul or human consciousness.
No,
What?
wait a minute, wait a minute. What? Okay. All right. So before Homo sapien, you have Homo sapien sapien, Homo floresiensis,
Whoa, whoa,
Homo
whoa, whoa, whoa,
erectus,
whoa, whoa.
Homo neanderthalis. Like what?
Homo
All of these
Neanderthal.
different.
Where are you getting
Hold
this
on. You
information from?
cannot
Where
ask me a question and then cut me off in the
Neanderthals weren't
middle of
even
my
about then?
Hey, she said stop talking,
bro.
bro. Like, you feel me? You trying to have a actual conversation, but you're not letting the universe actually flow her thoughts. Let her thoughts flow. She's trying to express, and you cutting her off. You over here talking about, oh, the mother this, the mother that, but you're not even letting them talk. Like, what's good with you? So just let her finish, and then you can go, and then you can go back and forth, and then we can both hear each other. Like, that's simple as hell, bro. What's up?
Okay, so all when it comes with facts, just like user just simply put it in the chat, not our story. So you're confusing his story with our genetic story. So you cannot bring history into this discussion because this is about science. This is
Exactly.
about everything in life, no matter if we're talking about microorganisms, plants, animals, insects, so-called humans, right? Everything in life, the greatest distinction between cellular form types is either prokaryotes or eukaryotes. You either function like a unicellular organism, like your information is being passed down from one embryological origin, or you are functioning like a multicellular organism where all of your genetic material stems from multiple different places. And a lot of the times, those multiple, well, no, literally every single time, you're always going to see incomplete dominance, right? So this is how we know that so-called Asians, Arabs, and YT people are all a part of the same species, but they are genetically expressing incomplete dominance. So again, when it comes to the Homo erectus, Homo floresiensis, all these other names, these are just different genetic modifications from when they were on all fours with the hypertrichosis and the vestigial tails that you're talking about, the subcutaneous horns, all of that, up to now being bipedal. That is genetic modification. So essentially, what evolution is explaining is how the question that it's posing is how do we go from haploids to diploids? How do we go from being autotroph to heterotroph? That never happened because, like he's explaining to you, you don't get abnormal amounts of pheo and eumelanin from neuromelanin. You have to understand the chemical composition of melanin, and then you're able to understand the different anatomical and biological differences, the difference in the cell biology. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like you're trying to give these people a place in the cosmos, and they do not genetically, biologically identify with the cosmos. They are here through electroporation. So that spark that we're talking about with stars is happening in a petri dish for them. And it's happening with artificial light. It's not happening with UV light, neuromelanin, which when you're talking about the spinal cord, the embryology is stemming from two different places. So that's what you got to understand. These people are not the same as us, and we're not the same as them. And if so, why don't we phenotypically present the same?
Yep.
Exactly.
If they don't get it, they don't get it. Yeah.
It's cool, Kenan. Welcome back. But yeah, y'all. I want to see, are we the same species? Because we already had two people in here trying to say that so-called African Americans and Africans not the same. I just want to see which direction people are going to take. You know, some people are saying that every YT people and black people are not the same. Some people are, you know, very black and white with it. Everybody outside of us is not us. These hybrids, these people that are a byproduct of mixing are not us. A lot of these Cubanos, these Italians, these Dominicans are not us. These are melanated, that brown pigmentation, or they may have a little bit of our neuromelanin from mixing, but they do not have our neuromelanin from our embryology.
Yep.
That's why we gotta start understanding genetics. Y'all keep talking about black this, black that, giving a place, a seat at the table for these people. Like most of the people that y'all think are black are not.
Yep.
especially when it comes to these biracial groups. If their mother is white, that's a white man, that's a white woman. And it doesn't I'm almost done, baby. It doesn't dismiss the father. What we're saying is that the X chromosome rules. Come on, y'all. We know that through the mother effect, mtDNA, embryology, totipidin stem cells versus ovum. That's a difference in cell biology, even in itself, right there, because we don't have animal DNA, so we do not have eggs. We don't have ovum, we have totipidin stem cells. You see what I'm saying? The sperm fertilizes the totipidin stem cell. That is called a zinc spark. So when we're looking at these other people, that spark that created life in them is electroporation, introgress genes,
All right.
Ribosomes.
All
hybridization,
right. So, sorry,
spliceosome.
just quickly, just one thing quickly. So when did the Neanderthal classification or species, or Neanderthal type, like arrive in the perspective of you individuals? Like, what do we think about the Neanderthals of when it arrived and when it came onto the earth? So yeah, like, I just want to get understanding on where do we think the Neanderthal started from.
I just told you. They come here from introgression. Introgression is where you take. Let me address the comments for a second. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in, Monarch. Good to see you, sis. Greetings. Welcome in, chat. Somebody said we are the same species. Come on now. That's not what scientists are saying. You're saying come on now, but I just explained that evolution has not been proven by any scientist on the globe. The number one question in the world is how we went from haploids to diploids. So you're saying come on now, but you got to understand that we're not the same species. We don't phenotypically present the same because our genetics is not expressing the same because we don't have the same genomics. So anybody that disagrees with the topic, feel free to request up. This is a scientific discussion. This is not about history or feelings. This is about science. If you cannot hold a discussion about science, stay in the comments. But if you want to try it, come up here. You see what I'm saying? What else is in here? She said cats and dogs bleed red too. They are both mammals. They are not the same species, sis. And it's interesting that the sister brought up cats and dogs. Those are both hybridized animals, and she know that because she know genetics. That's why she said what she
All right,
said.
all right. Did they have the same creation then?
Okay, first of all, we don't do over talking. So when I'm talking, don't and try to rush me off and speak, okay? Because we was on your ass and you haven't stated a scientific fact.
You're not
All
on
right,
my
so
ass.
let's
So
not get
you
like
just got
that.
to
Let's not
you
get
just
like
got to
that. Let's keep it
intellecting about your
respectful,
own
all right?
identity. You ain't on my
Let's keep it
ass. You
respectful.
couldn't even
So
talk
I'm
about
speaking right
Neanderthals.
now. You're
Hold
still over
on.
talking me. So in a
Can't be on
second,
my
I'll probably
ass.
get
Hold
ejected from
on.
the panel.
Can't be
Hey,
on.
hey, relax.
Can't be
Like,
on my.
there's no need for
Check
that.
it, check your ego, bro. Just check your ego, man.
Good. I'm
Check your
fine.
ego, man. You might learn something. Check your ego.
Yeah, man, just,
One
you know what I'm
second,
saying?
1 second, okay? So I'm
Just
just
chill.
addressing the comments. I'm having a separate conversation with you. I took a break to address the comments. We are not the same species. Both the cat and the dog is hybridized. They have the same origin as YT people, Arabs and Asians. All
Yeah.
right, go ahead, Minty.
So just a digit, number, or element. Could you give me a number on how long the Neanderthal species had been present on Earth?
Around 6,000 years, six to no more than 8,000.
Okay. All right. Cool. Got past that part.
Actually, hold on for a
Oh, we couldn't
second.
get past that part. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
let's not.
Wait,
Let's
he
not
trying
get.
to fry us.
Yeah, I don't care about the trigger words or none of that. I'm trying to get the truth out because the Neanderthals have been here for 65,000 to 70,000 years. The modern humans that you have today, they have 20% of Neanderthal DNA within them. Everybody outside of black people got 20% of Neanderthal within them, meaning that these species are not 100% of anything. Just like in nature, you can see an elephant is 100% an elephant. An octopus is 100% an octopus. These people are not 100% of anything. So Neanderthals are 70,000 to 60,000 years ago. They were being created because like we were saying, the reptilian creators, because our species right now is we're very small. We shrunk in size after the interstellar gases have changed on the planet. So that's why she was asking, are these people giants? Yes, all other extraterrestrial life, they're gonna look like giants to you. So again, um, when these people was genetically splicing, when they started out with pyomelanin, which was microorganisms. Then they went into chlorophyll, which is allomelanin, which is plants. Then they started splicing different small animals. Then they started splicing larger animals, and then they started splicing monkeys, and then different type of Sasquatch that you see, Yetis that you see caught on camera, people having Sasquatch stories all over, especially North America. You see what I'm saying? And then they got to the modern human that you have today. That's why these people, you can see that they share genomics from different animals that you cannot see in nature naturally reproduce with each other. And they have part Neanderthal and Sasquatch and all of these different genomics within them because they have 25,000 to 30,000 genes from different organisms.
And can I add another
Bro,
animal?
you just literally told
Yeah,
me
go
that the
ahead. Hold on,
Neanderthals.
Amenti. Go ahead, and then we'll get right back to you.
Another animal that when he was talking about the genetic splicing and stuff like that, another animal too that's not authentic and that is genetically engineered that we eat, well, that other people eat every day, is chicken too. The chicken is not a normal creature. That's not the original creature. It was spliced from two different animals, and now we eating chicken out here, and that's not even an authentic creature. That was genetically engineered.
Facts.
Where we
Facts. The
always
chicken is only
we
like
always gotta have a
6,000 years
balance.
old too.
You know,
Yeah.
we always gotta have a balance.
It's crazy though because it's like our everyday life. Well, once you get tapped in, you become conscious and you really do the research and you go within yourself, bro. You will start to see like everything around us is like literally like confinement. Like everything around us, and it just goes to say, bro, if we was these powerful beings, and these supreme gods, and we were capable of doing great things. What would people do to dumb us down? And then when you look at the system of everything that we gone through, from genetic structure, from the moment we born, from our cells, this and that, like it's like, damn, we gotta be something great. We gotta be something special for every day to wake up inside of a system that's built to diminish our true nature. You know, it's just crazy. I'm sorry, that was a little off
And
topic. I'm
no,
sorry.
no, no, man. Abundance for that. That was well said because the chicken, the cow,
Pig.
the pig, all of these different animals that our people are eating today, the opposite species, the eukaryotic cell, shares DNA with these species, and we're eating them, and we're infecting our blood. You see what I'm saying? We're slowing down the nutrients and vitamins to our brain. So that's what's happening. So abundance for that. We need to really understand that we're not the same species. That's the real spill of this live.
Amenti, can I ask you a question? Would you think that both of these monkeys on the screen would you classify these to be the same species?
As erectors,
No, I just asked you, are these monkeys, do you believe them to be the same species
as
at
our
first glance?
as our state now.
No, I'm asking you a simple question separate from
Mm.
our conversation prior. Just if you walked into this live and I just asked you a question, do you think that these monkeys are the same species? What would you say?
Um,
Oh, y'all can't really see it? Okay, damn.
species is going
Hold
into,
on.
genetics and even phenotype.
A lot of
And,
dancing going on.
but if they're monkeys, on it. So I guess they would have the same structural nature. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what type of right answer you want me to answer this with, but I guess. But monkeys are not the same as erectus, which is what we was before the Homo sapien.
Okay, so I got you. I fit it to the screen. It should be a little bit better. Can y'all see that? Can I see your screen? Is that a little bit better?
Yeah. That's all right. That's cool. That's cool.
Would you consider both of those to be the same species?
Um. Um. Um.
Brother,
I
just say no, my brother. If you don't know, you don't know. Like it's okay to
yeah.
not know the answer, my brother.
Yeah. I'm
Like
gonna say no then. Yeah.
Okay, so they're not the same species, but most people would say that they are. One is a chimpanzee, and the other is the babonus monkey. And to your logic, the reason why I put this up here is because you said that we're Homo sapiens, and someone in the chat was also saying like you know, we're all the same. So I just wanted to make this distinction. Both of these monkeys look the same, but they are not the same species. Scientists say that as humans, we all share 99.1% of the same DNA. For both of these monkeys, they share 99.6% of the same DNA, and they say that they share a common ancestor. So the point that I'm trying to make is just because you see a head, an arm, two legs, like a lot of people try to say, that does not make them the same organism. That does not mean that they share the same genomics or the same embryology. So looks can be deceiving when you're in a shrunken frequency like this, when you don't understand who you are. And when you think about everything that's happened to us as a people, you're looking at about at least 200,000 years of us combating global oppression. I'm not even just talking about us, I'm talking about microorganisms, plants, animals, insects. There's proof that Earth's rotation was knocked off 40.4 degrees. We can tell that just from looking and paying attention to chronobiology, the chronobiology of the plants, paying attention to birds, their patterns, the different rhythmic patterns found throughout all life. We can tell that Earth is not even vibing. She's not even rotating, or hasn't been, right, at the proper speed, or in the proper rotation. So now that the resonance, her resonance is going back up, now our consciousness, we're starting to really question. The thing is that as a people, like, we're questioning the wrong shit though. We want reparations, we want healthcare from the same people that gave us the disease. We want reparations from the same people that left us in this psychological state. And we're telling you through this whole live, they had help. I'm going to post a video soon of a scientist involved in the Montauk Chronicles, where he's literally telling you, we have had help. There's no way that your so-called government could have done it alone. These YT people, when you understand their psychological wiring and how that's connected to your genetics, they're not that fucking smart. These are pheo and eumelanated individuals. They don't have substantial amounts of neuromelanin in the substantia nigra. The animals that they share genetics with, the horse, the monkey, the cats, the dogs, they're not even born with neuromelanin. These scientists are saying that they develop neuromelanin at ages like 2 to 3, which is a lie, because how can you gain light, and from what source, when you can't even biosynthesize, you can barely biosynthesize visible light? How are you taking in neuromelanin? How are you able to take the full spectrum of light when you have trouble on through your integumentary system, your skin, your hair, through even taking in visible light? That's what we got to understand, y'all. These people keep talking about melanin this, melanin that. We got to understand there are 5 different types of melanin. Somebody got a pen and paper out? I'm finna give them to you. Switch the app. Go to Google right now and type in the 5 different types of melanin. Because when y'all come in here saying, oh, non-melanated people, these people have melanin. Every single living organism on this planet has melanin. So that's why we don't know who we are, because we think we're the same as these people. I tell y'all that I've been saying this for 2 years, man. 2 years. We are not the same as these people. Then when it was about racism, when y'all was talking about cultural appropriation, that unalived off, right? Then y'all start talking about how the Africans weren't us. I was in front of 300 people in a live. I asked them, What is the embryology between Africans and what is the embryology of so-called Black Americans? Still to this day, I haven't had one person tell me the difference in embryology because none of us are studying fucking genetics. Genealogy, studying your family tree, is not studying your genetics. You got to be able to tell me about who you are composed to, what you are composed of on a cellular level. That's telling me who you are. Your biology and your genetics is what make you who you are. So again, if Elon Musk is considered to be African, and then we see people that share our base phenotype that are African too, the title got to be thrown out. Who are y'all? We got to remember what ties you to this planet, your genetics and your biology. So we got a genetic stranger here. And it don't stop with just YT people. We got to understand that the Asiatic slave trade affected us. We've been reclassified. This has been going on for several thousands of years. The white man was last. So that's the reason why you've been socially conditioned to think that it's just so black and white. What about the Arab slave trade? Okay, so these people are around you today. So anybody that's like, oh, they're not our people, are they on your land today? And they shouldn't be. So let's focus on that. Where did these people come from? What's the origin of these? Because I seen a brother that was live today talking about, oh, they come from the caves. No, the fuck they don't. These people were found in caves. They do not share biology with any place on this planet. So even when we start studying the caves, y'all got to understand caves are a megalithic structure. They're in the same boat as pyramids. These caves mimic the vaginal canal, the birthing place, the womb. We not understanding that. We going pyramid for pyramid, not understanding that they exist all over the globe for a reason. It's no way we can sit on this app and say that so-called America is the motherland versus other land masses. That doesn't make any sense. Nobody is understanding tectonic processes and how land is actually created. This is all one landmass, y'all. They're the ones that have reduced you in your thinking, that have you thinking that when you look at a map, you're reading land just like they got you reading a book left to right. That's not how Earth is, y'all. These pilots, they're lying about the routes that they're taking. There's a girl that goes live on here all the time about, or she's in Alaska. She can see the Russian border from where she is in Alaska. You see what I'm saying? These land masses that y'all think are separate are merely connected by water. So it's not that the water is separating, but that the water is connecting the land. We got to start everybody want to be, we was here first. Can you give me 10 facts about the land that you claim to have been there with, locked in with first? I don't want to talk about documents, white man documents no more. I don't want to talk and converse like slaves no more. I want to talk about how we're top 10, talking about, oh, we're gods and goddesses. Why are we not embodying that? What's the point of saying that we built pyramids when we're poisoning ourselves right now, man? What's the point of that? What's the point of that shit? What's the point of us knowing that these people come from caves when we asking for their money? What's the point of us asking for reparations like they still not snatching our children? Like they're still not eating us? How much money do you want for your children being fed to crocodiles? I don't get it. It's a sickness. It's a sickness. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, wise life mogul. Go ahead.
Uh, my bad. I was gonna comment on what you were saying. Oh my god, I just had a brain fart. I'm sorry. Continue. I'm gonna keep listening. Continue.
Can I say something?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I really, mm, with all this that's going on too, I feel like the disconnection just comes into, well, just with all this and people just not owning up to it, and we not getting there as fast as we need to be. Just by people just thinking that we just down here powerless. You know, especially with all the stuff that because they promote all the stuff that they do. Oh, they doing this, they controlling whether they doing this, and to the normal person every day, especially us, we're gonna look at it like, damn, they could do all this, then what the fuck can we do? And I feel like that's where the real disconnect comes in, and nobody really wants to fight or actually take a stand or teach these things, or actually go about these things, because people just think they powerless. And like you said earlier, the planet shifting is going back to its natural state. So if you are aware, then a lot of things that we were able to do previously, we're going to be able to do again. So the whole coming in powerless thing is just, I feel like the lack of confidence and knowledge people really have about who we actually are and what we were actually capable of. All the magic and things that we were able to perform. And I feel like people right now are just stuck in that state of being powerless. They find out the information, find out these things, and just, it does nothing for them, because they not understanding that we have all the power, even right now when we feel like we have nothing. We are the ones that are causing the shift on the planet just with our thoughts and our frequency. We are shifting everything around us, even while we be in control right now, technically.
Yeah, facts. And what you're saying is that no, I agree with you. On an everyday day to day, the frequency that that they have you in, it's hard to break that. But that's why the people that see the truth, you have to have a hunger for knowledge itself, man. You have to increase your hunger for that, because if, like, earlier when you seen the elder, when I was telling her, I'm like, oh, I'm just speaking with passion, but she was like, oh, it's emotional. See, that type of intensity, that type of truth and authenticity is what that stays with her. That influenced her thoughts. So we can't really be scared or in fear about how we'll be perceived by our people, because the only difference between us and them is frequency. They really the same. That's why I just explained through embryology, we're the same. You see what I'm saying? Through embryology, we're the same. We're connected genetically and biologically to this planet. But where the disconnect is frequency. So we really have to do our due diligence as people to make sure that we're becoming more and more magnetic every day, and figuring out more and more ways to not rely on this system. Nothing that you do, all more of our thoughts need to be leaving this shit. More of our thoughts need to be being creative. How do we connect with our land? How do we harness energy naturally? How can we put our skills together? Who's around me? What are you going through? How can we help each other? Those are the conversations that we need to be having, and it can't be at the expense of money, because we got to start getting into the mindset of doing shit for free, because clearly their dollar is appreciating. That don't have no value, and it never truly did. And that's the number one thing that's oppressing us, is their dollar. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to have to start opening that heart chakra, opening that heart space up, and saying, I'm doing this for you because you are a reflection. We got to start understanding we're deserving of free. We do not have to work and slave for shit. This entire planet is ours. And not just this planet, but we're connected to the cosmos. Other planets are sending their energy, their interstellar gases and nano diamonds are still being influenced by this planet, and we're sending out the same energy to those planets. So we got to start having a more scientific approach when it comes to tackling things in our community, believe it or not. Political reform and trying to stay here and shit, and the census and da 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 da. Like, none of that shit is helping us get our children back. You see what I'm saying? You becoming more magnetic, tapping into who you are, understanding who you are, is actually what shifts a change. Their system shuts down and our unity becomes stronger. That's the reason why they have us so divided between the different titles, between the, puppets like Tariq Nasheed, your celebrities, your entertainers. Like, everything is meant to keep you divided. That's the reason why our people think that the land masses is further away than what they are. Everything that we are looking at is through the white man's lens. That's not freedom. That's mental prison.
Can I
You see what I'm saying?
can
Go
I say
ahead.
something now? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So recently, and I'm not like a fan of Young Pharaoh or nothing, but he was one of the people who I listened to first to at least push me towards that path. It wasn't quite esoteric knowledge, but it was basic level society knowledge, like racism, ism and things like that, right? So I listened to him earlier today, and he mentioned this thing called, I forget what the complete word is, but he basically was saying how the consciousness fractured, right? And it fractured because of individuality and identities, because we technically are, like you said, we're one consciousness. But the way he broke it down, right? He said if the consciousness is whole, and then the consciousness is conscious of itself, and it decided to say, I'm a black person. The consciousness fractured itself because it don't recognize itself as a black person. And then another piece of the consciousness said, I'm a white person. And then it fractured itself again. And it said, I'm not a white person, because it doesn't recognize identity, because it is what it is. I am what I am. I don't need a reason to exist. And I think it's kind of hard for the elders to get towards that lane, because I think some people just hit a wall in their own minds. So I honestly think like the youth, like yourself, because everyone up here sounds like they're deep diving in. They deep dive into their esoteric knowledge, into their science, into their biology. They deep dive into it all. Their astrology. Everybody seems like they do a lot of it, right? I think we should have more compassion for our elders, because their minds have hit a wall, and it's kind of like reverse, right? At first we were the babies, now they're the babies, because we've received knowledge that they couldn't fathom. And I look at it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the old you. If we're one consciousness, that is the old version of you. So that's you that didn't know what you know now.
Yeah.
It's no different like when as you get older and you gain new experiences and new knowledges. That elder person, or that person that just refuses to break that ceiling, that was a version of you that didn't know any of this. And it's not their fault. You feel me? It's not their fault that they were not misled, but it just wasn't for them to break the cycle. They were just another bridge to breaking the cycle.
So what you
You see
saying?
what I'm saying?
I can kind of agree with you, but I kind of can't. All of our people, there's been conscious or so-called woke people every so-called generation. Delbert Blair, Layla Africa, people that came before me was speaking this knowledge, and our people chose to do whatever they was doing at that time. Like he said in the comments, the truth is always there, and it's not that I don't have compassion for the elders. I have a lot of compassion for all of my people. You see what I'm saying? But what about the elders having compassion for the children though? You see what I'm saying? Look at how many times we've talked about the children, and the elders don't even say nothing about that. So just as well as we need to be compassionate for them, they need to be compassionate on the lineage that they're adding to. We're only here as byproducts of the people that came before us. So it's like when you're telling me to have compassion, I understand that I have that. That's the
No, I'm
whole
not
point.
telling you to have compassion.
Yeah,
But go ahead, keep
I
going,
got you.
keep going.
I got you. I'm just responding.
Yeah.
The thing is that even if you're talking to us as a collective, I'm a part of that, so I'm just responding. Like,
Right.
I think generally this chat or the people that's in this live, we have compassion for our people in general. The problem is we see our people not have that same compassion back, but we don't stop there. We keep going. You know what I'm saying? We've had elders in here today that left in the middle of us trying to enlighten them. You see what I'm saying? But
No,
because of that
I've been here for a
conditioning,
while. I've been here for a
yeah,
while. I've been in the comments, but yeah, I've been here for
yeah.
a while.
And because of that conditioning, it's hard for light to infiltrate a mind that's like that. That's fine. That's why we got to breathe more life into the children, because they have abundant totipotent stem cells. They have abundant amounts of light flowing through their brain. They're more connected to their bodies. They're not as indoctrinated. That's why it's important for us to lock in with the youth for real,
Uh,
because those are the eldest souls. Those are the most ancient souls. If we really being real, that come here as reminders. So look at all the children. 8 million children go missing worldwide per year, and that's the least amount that they're telling us. We know
Yeah.
that there's more, and I don't see now elder barely in our community talking about the missing children. I see a lot of our elders come to this app every single day talking about reparations.
I mean,
Nothing
that's
in
why I
that
said to
list is about getting
treat them
on.
like the children, like treat them like the
But the
new
children
children.
get the truth the moment you tell them, because it's light flowing into the brain. It's no light coming in because of the everyday choices that they're making.
They're
I
not
have
indoctrinated
compassion,
yet.
but the ultimate thing that they need is themselves. You see what I'm saying? And that's just a tough pill to swallow about it. Like, it's just unfortunate because nobody, I had to lock in with myself. I knew I shouldn't have been eating meat for a long ass time, and I still was eating it. You see what I'm saying? Our elders hear the truth. All of our people hear and see the truth. At some point or another, you're faced with truth in your life, period. And that was probably the one thing that you set up for whenever you came back in this lifetime, to help you really lock in, and you still didn't get it. You see what I'm saying? You got, it's an energy that you have to keep up. It's nothing that you choose to do once. You know what I'm saying? So,
No, I understand.
yeah.
I was on another live like maybe like a week ago, right? And I was in there with some elders, and they were saying a lot of things. I'm like, if the youth really was susceptible to this, this would, I'm trying to figure out where that disconnect is, right? And the elder was using a lot of language. I'm like, I get up on the platform and I'm like, I love what y'all are saying, right? But if you're trying to get your message through, if you want your message to go through, if you don't care who receives the message, who don't, fine. It's your message. But if you're trying to push your message through, if you're trying to get it through, if that is your goal, then we have to come at it a different way. If we're trying, if the purpose, not the purpose, if we don't mind leaving them behind, cool. I'm me, you gonna do what you do, I'm gonna do what I do. But if we talking about leaving them behind, fine. But if we want to get the message across and if we want to use the whole buffalo and not just the fresh meat, right? If we want to use the whole carcass, how do we get that? How do we get to that point without?
Everybody don't want to come. It's
Yeah,
not
I know. Yeah,
about
I
what I
understand.
want. I want all my people to see the truth, but everybody don't want to see the truth. You just have to be the light.
It's
You,
about
it's
choice.
about choice. Like, they choose. Like, you're saying, like, oh, if we leaving them behind, we gonna have to if they don't want to come. We
I mean, yeah, of
can't
course,
save
of
the
course.
children and save the elders that don't want to be saved. The children are our responsibility because we're actively giving birth to children. We continue through children. There is no us if it's not through children. So I
Now,
gotta
all
think,
I'm
when it
saying
comes
is,
to
I'm sorry.
expansion of our
One at
people,
a time.
when it comes to the expansion of our people, that's done through children.
Hmm.
So I'm enlightening all the people, but everybody don't want that light. That's why I said, if you've been here for a while, I was talking to their brother and their sister.
Yeah,
They left on their own.
no,
That
they
was
did, they
their
did.
choice.
Yeah,
You see what
that.
I'm saying? They come on live to talk about reparations when they know that it's children in their community going missing. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying,
Mhm.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, no matter how small your your decision making is, like you have two paths: the path of ignorance with your choice, or the path of wisdom with your choice. And they chose to leave when we was trying to enlighten them, like she said. And children is our ancient stars. They're the ancient ones. They already come here knowing. So we just have to guide them. So what the elders know from this system, they cannot pass that on to children, because that
Mm-hmm.
continues this loop that we've been in. So the information that gotta go into children now, it has to be straight cosmic, straight biology.
neuroscience, all of these different things about their anatomy and their functionality. Titles, all of that is gotta go because we're not gonna change that way. So it just depends on do these elders want to come? Do they want to stop being meat eaters? You see what I'm saying?
No,
Do you want to become a sun eater or do you want to stay over there with the meat eaters? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's
understand
like
that.
that's your choice. And the planet is not saying it's saying is done. She's saying either you change your frequency and raise your frequency with me, or you dissipate or get removed out
This
of out the way
Recycle.
Oh
or
no, I
recycle.
understand because the frequency brought me to this platform. That's why I'm even here. Now, I know I'm saying this right, and me, I understand reality, but I wishful thinking. I see the denial in the elders' eyes I see the fear when you try to give them this knowledge. I see it, but do
User,
I
did
wish
you?
they would?
Oh my
Do I
bad.
wish they would understand it?
it's like, but
Yes.
that's time too. It's like, you gotta understand. Like I had to understand this too because it was frustrating me a lot, even with just common people who are around our age. These people have been building their life up for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, set on rules and regulations. They never question anything, just going with the program, and then the ones that did find out a little bit of information, but you don't change your life. So
Hmm.
these people that we want to wake up, a lot of you know we can't wake nobody up because a lot of stuff that we've been through and we going through right now on conscious level, we put it in the work. That's where it comes in that, you create the spark, but who wants to put in the work to
Keep that
let that
spark
spark
going.
turn into a flame?
Uh
You
huh.
know, and that's where the problem is, because honestly, I've been doing like telekinesis, all this stuff, bro, energy control, manipulation, cheat, all this stuff real, and I've been doing it and trying to teach people, but people don't got that spark in them, just because
Teach
I
me. Teach me.
yeah, I
Teach
can
me.
just you could go watch
I
my
will
video.
glad. I will gladly be your student, my man. I will gladly be your student.
DM me and you could go watch
Hold
my
on,
video.
y'all. User wants to say something, and we'll get back to that.
For sure. For sure.
Oh, I was just gonna
Hold
add
on.
that it's not even about just leaving the elders behind. I feel like the people who are like vibrating at the same frequency, like everyone's gonna be moving in a certain way, especially as the sun continues to intensify and stuff. So like all the people who are vibing high and are passing on, not even passing on the information to the children, but like the children will follow what they know is the truth because they are closest to source. Like they are still tapped in, like their mind hasn't been conditioned the way a lot of elders has. So then once more people keep vibing high, it'll have a ripple effect. So like we'll form in clusters and keep growing. And then those other people who they'll have another choice whether they want to change their ways for good or if they want to stay stuck in their ways. So they'll be given another chance. It's up to them if they want to take it or not.
Well
Yeah.
said. Like literally,
Abundantly.
well said. Literally, the planet is giving you a choice every single so-called day. Every single second, you can shift your consciousness instantaneously. I've done it before. You have to exert real energy. You have to have a hunger for it. But right now, it depends on where you are in your consciousness. Like if you still battling religion and meat, that's a real hard bag to be in right now with the consciousness of the planet. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but those two frequencies are extremely low. Like if we can come to an agreement that these people are not the same as us, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But religion, still eating meat and not knowing that these people aren't the same, that's gonna be hard to come back from, and we can't pass that to children.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good.
that's why I say too, bro, all skin folk and kinfolk, just because, these beings of, if you want to say our people, just because they look like us, they got the same genetic structure, don't mean they us on a soul level. Because this stuff is really on a soul level. A lot of these downloads, a lot of information that we get, from different galaxies, different cosmos. Because in turn, our soul, some of us are not even from here, but we came down here to bring the message.
Right.
Wait, are you talking
Right.
about other black people? Are you saying like not all black people are the same as us or something?
Yeah, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Mm.
It's
But
all
can
about
you
the
explain
mind.
it, like what you mean when you say that? Because it's a
I
rhyme.
get
People
what
say
you're
because it
saying,
rhymes, but
but
what do you
yeah.
mean when you say that?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Just how we on it, that just goes into what we were saying about the elders and stuff too. I put those in the same category. People that ain't getting it, or just, that's not understanding consciousness or what this place is or who we are. All skin folk and kinfolk, because these same people, that's not understanding consciousness, are the ones that's out here making us look bad,
Yeah,
type. So
yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
like all skin folk and kinfolk.
They're
We
us.
They're
They're
still
just, yeah,
you.
they're us. They're the literal reflections of you. He just said that that used to be you. And we
yeah.
just agreed that they're you in a different frequency. So we got to be careful with what we say, because that will manifest more division. Be careful with what you fixate your thoughts on and exert energy behind, because that's why we're in the mess that we're in. They are us.
We're just
We're
poison.
just not in the same frequency. Just like she said, us that are vibing high will naturally gravitate towards each other. That's just electromagnetism. We can explain that through science. These people that are coming together to talk about reparations are vibing on that frequency. So this is what it goes back to: choice, choosing the lie over authenticity. You see what I'm saying? Because we've talked to a lot of our people in the last couple of years, and some of the people that started out with us not here because they wanted to choose that frequency. And that's, you see what I'm saying? So um I don't like that whole all skin folk and kinfolk. I don't like that saying, because number one, we are the same. If we have the same melanin and genetic structure, then we are the same.
Yep. The reason why we're thinking different is because we've been cultivated and trained and conditioned to. That's the problem. That's what this whole life been about, man.
Let me say this, y'all. This I think this is gonna clarify with I agree with you, brother. You right, but okay, put it like this. I like to use analogies. So think about frequencies, right? Everybody's listened to the radio before in their lifetime, I'm assuming. Radio waves, right? If you're tuned in to 95.5, right, and you're listening to the song, you can turn it just 3 frequencies off. Let's say 95.8. It's gonna be cloud. You might still can hear the music, but it won't be clear. And if you keep changing that frequency, right, you're just gonna get static. Then it's gonna get to a point you keep changing the frequency, keep changing, you're gonna get a whole nother station, a whole nother song. It might not even be music. They might be a talk show. So when I told you I'm about to be 40, so I totally get everything that y'all saying, right? Because I've been doing this for over about 20 years, and either they're gonna hey, mute yourself, Rick. Your radio on, Rick. Rick,
I
Rick, Rick.
can't see his name on mine. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Um, he just proved my point. See how that works? But the frequencies are all so the older generations, right? We call them elders, but I'm really into. I see y'all really into genetics. I'm just in here learning. But when it comes to linguistics, when it comes to etymology, I'm really big on that, right? So an elder, the root word or the prefix in elder is el, which is a title. A lot of the older generation that we call elders, they're not our elders. Your age doesn't determine your competency, right? I'm in here listening. Half of y'all probably, I'm old enough to be most of y'all fathers, right? But y'all know more than me in certain aspects of consciousness or when it comes to certain information. So for me to be in here trying to go back, it doesn't make sense, right? So I've been in here for a while. And a lot of the they might be around my age or older. They not trying to hear what y'all talking about because they think they know everything already. They just in here trying to, I guess, ego trip. And that shows because they can't back up what they're saying. And then when they see that they can't get you to agree with them, they get angry, they get upset like children, and they leave. So our children are literally our ancestors' return. All of y'all in here, y'all are old as shit. I'm just keeping 100 with you. Y'all been here so many damn times that the carnal, mundane bullshit that most of our people are obsessed with, y'all don't care about. It doesn't, you don't see the benefit in it because there is no benefit for you. You've been here so many times, you've done all that. That's not fun. It's pointless to you at this point. That's why you're concerned with the things that you're concerned with. That's why you're learning and intrigued by the things that you're into. So like she said, the frequency is off. That's the issue. So it's not really that they can't get what you're saying. Is that they vibrate so low that their competency level isn't there. And the fact that you're younger than them, right, physically in age, they look at you as a child. So they don't think that you can teach them anything. And that's where the disconnect comes.
Ego.
It's ego. I've been there. I've been through all. There's no religious. Name all of them. I done been in all the NOI, the Moorish Science Temple, what's the other one? The Hebrew Israelites. All of it, and it's all ego. It's all man-made bullshit. When you get to the root of it, you realize that religion, the word religion in itself means to restrain or hold back, right? I don't want to be restrained from anything. I want to know the truth. I want to know the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And you're not going to get that with religion. You want to know the science. And that's what y'all up here talking about, the science, genetics. See, when you start talking genetics, that's why I love it, because I'm like, wow, I never thought about it from that angle. When you start talking about genetics, it's like, well, how can you combat that? Everything else we're just talking about what a man wrote in a book, right? We're arguing somebody else's opinion. That's it's pointless. You can't argue genetics.
Absolutely.
You cannot argue genetics.
Thank you. I'm finna clip what he just said and post that shit everywhere.
Before information was written on paper, stone, and on anything, clay, it was written inside of your DNA.
Go ahead, Jeffe.
Yeah, we come from Africa. You know, that's the motherland of all blacks. They try to mix us up with this Lucifer guy that we have no origin with or no relation with. And these Jews, what they did was, after that transatlantic slave trade, and they brought everybody over from Benin and other countries of West Africa, they hit us with this Jesus shit. And when I had the cross on, my cross necklace, my Jesus cross, I felt weak. I couldn't do pull-ups. And then when I took it off, and then I got introduced to a different religion, which is voodoo, like I got stronger.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's a different side of esoterical symbolism or frequency. I love to speak about things like that, but you know, that's a different side of the world, or geometrics.
I started doing more
Jeffe,
pull-ups.
how do we all come from Africa?
Yeah.
Like biologically and genetically, how do we all come from Africa?
Yeah, explain that to us.
The first ancient civilization, which was Egypt, there were pharaohs back then, and they had horns. Have y'all ever seen any articles with like people with horns?
Are you
Okay,
referring to the
we
Sumerians,
asked you.
the
Hold on for a second.
Dogons? Like, who you referring to?
Yeah, because
Egyptians had horns too.
Yeah, we asked you, how does all black people, all neuromelanated people around the planet, how do they genetically and biologically come from Africa? And then you brought up a civilization and then just started talking about pharaohs. So
I
I want you
wasn't
to
finished.
I want you to genetically and biologically explain to us on the live,
I
how do
wasn't
all
finished.
black people come from one landmass?
I
Go
wasn't
ahead.
finished. All right. So I recently did my ancestry, right? And I'm 94% African, and I'm like 6% from Europe, Spain. I'm like 6% Spanish. And the country that I'm most of is Beninese. That's where most Haitians come from. And most of the Africans from West Africa, they originated from East Africa, which was Egypt, which was the first civilization. And in the Bible, in one of the Bibles, they mentioned this. They stated that, well, a white man stated that Enoch tried to take credit for the Egyptian pyramids, that he seen them and he mentioned them in the book of Enoch. They stated this somewhere. I forgot where it was at.
What about genetics and biology?
Yeah.
Genetics. Well, they dug up King Tut's. They dug up King Tut's. His They dug up his what's that shit called? His tomb. They dug up his remains, and they're hiding that from the world because it was a black man's skull. Everybody knows what a black man's skull looked like. We seen King Tut. I had the picture somewhere. I'm
Okay, because if you're about to say that it was like, if you're about to tell me about a man's like oldest bones, then I'm gonna ask you, how did the man get here? Wouldn't the man have come through his mother's portal?
Yeah. And that ancient civilization that you're talking about, it's all over the planet. Because what made that ancient civilization is the pyramids and the megalithic structures that we built, which are all over the planet and on different planets that scientists have already came out and said.
What confuses me is if all of this is land, this whole earth, like it just confuses me how we can all just be from one area. If it's all this land beyond the ice wall, this and that, like all this land here, over here, where we at right now, how are we all from just one place when you can go Google this right now? The black people have been here for over 500, 600, 700,000, however long they want to say. If we have been here that long on this planet, how do we all just come from one single location? Like
Okay,
it just don't make
first
no
of
sense.
all, we're not saying that we come from one location. That's not what we said.
But no,
We
I'm
said
saying
that
No,
all.
he's saying that if all black
Oh,
people were here all over the planet,
he's
hundreds
talking
of
to Jeffe.
yeah, like I think that's what he's saying. Like
Wait.
if we're all been here for hundred thousands of years,
Mm-hmm.
how is it that we're just all from one landmass when we've been on the planet for hundred thousands of years before
Okay,
any other eukaryotic cells were on the planet?
I got you. So he's responding to Jeffe.
Yeah,
yeah,
Jeffe, if you're
but
off the app, we can't hear you. You got to come back.
yeah,
We
and
don't. We don't really need you to show us that picture.
yeah. I
Um,
don't I don't I'm,
you
I don't
don't
think
have
I
to
got the
look for it
picture.
if you can't find it. But I just wanted to reiterate my question. What you're looking for a picture of is a tombstone of
No,
a so-called
it's his
Egyptian man,
remains.
right?
It's his remains.
The remains. Uh-huh. Okay, and I know that the people over here in Africa, or excuse me, the people over here in America, or the so-called Black Americans, are talking about Walter Perry. Both of those men, would you say that they came from women? If they have the so-called oldest DNA, would you say that they came from women, or where would they have come from?
Walter Perry, is he a Caucasian man?
No, it's okay. Let's just stick with the Egyptian man that you're talking about.
Okay.
Would you say that that man have come from a woman?
I I was told something different, that there's a higher power, and his name is God, his name is Ra in Africa. Spirit
Okay,
told me that.
so
Yeah, I
a
know what you're
man.
talking about still. Because you are correct still.
And Ra has red skin.
All right. So It was
Wait.
saying
Okay,
that
hold on for a second.
everything
Hold on
came
for a
from.
second.
But what the fuck?
Go ahead.
If you're
I'm
gonna,
asking him a question and you're go ahead.
yeah,
Go
if you're
ahead,
gonna
bro.
act like that, and
Yo, bro, because this is
come
a
on, man.
panel, bro. This is my phone. I'm on my phone.
Go
You get me?
ahead.
Anyway, so the individual said that everything goes back to one landmass. It's going like it's more goes. It goes back to one blueprint, and then this blueprint, before it was ever ascended to Africa, I could either say it was formed in Asia and Americas before it was completely digested in Africa,
I could
because
I could answer
the,
that.
okay, cool, yeah, yeah, okay.
Back then, the tectonic plates shook, and Africa and Asia was one country. It was one continent, Africa and Asia, and then the tectonic plates shook, and then they split it up.
Okay, I'm
Yeah, that's
confused.
correct.
That's why I want like, you know what I'm saying? When I'm talking to somebody, like let me talk to them until the panel is open again.
Sorry,
Because no, I'm just trying to respond to you. So the point that I'm trying to make is there is no such thing as all people being from one so-called landmass. Okay, you have to first understand that all the land is the same. Those tectonic processes that you're talking about,
not
is what make
tectonic
it.
process, tectonic plates that causes earthquakes, not tectonic
Yeah,
plastics.
she said it's a tectonic process,
Oh,
which means there's steps to that
oh,
collision of earthquakes that you're talking about.
okay.
So let's relax.
I
So
couldn't
what
hear
we're
you.
talking, and Ra, when you were speaking of Ra, Ra means the sun. We are
I
the
know.
people. We are the people of the sun. No matter where we are on the planet, where no matter everywhere the sun touch, we are native and organic to that landmass, to that planet, to that galaxy. So wherever stars emit their light, that we are there. We are everywhere. We're ubiquitous. So so-called black people, neuromelanated people around the planet, we are the same species. There's a genetic stranger outside of us that has been here for 6,000 years, infecting us with viruses and diseases. And that's where you got your information of out of Africa theory. You got it from that monkey man. He's the one who wrote that.
Nah, I didn't get it from no monkey man, but there was another theory of us coming from asteroids because we have star dust in our melanin.
We have neuromelanin, which is the only biochemical substance that can condense sunlight, and it's also condensed sunlight on its own. I just want to go back to what we were talking about when you were saying about us coming from Africa. When it comes to how land is actually created, how mountains are also created through tectonic processes. We understand that there's a cyclical flow of energy and there's a vertical flow of energy, and when that energy is then exerted through a horizontal flow of energy, that this is what creates land. It's tectonic plates underneath Earth's crust. So there's energy, there's movement underneath the land masses, and this is what creates movement, expansion that y'all are talking about. I just wanted to ask y'all, are y'all aware of how land is created? Because there are islands that are being formed as we speak. There are islands that are being discovered that they, and some that they haven't discovered.
Earth is expanding.
Earth is expanding just like the rest of the cosmos is expanding naturally. So are we
Please
aware of that?
explain
Because
that.
then it
Please
wouldn't have
explain
been one landmass. Go ahead.
So please explain that. I know a little something, but please explain that.
Okay, let me see. I have a picture. I can explain it to you through. One second. All right. So do you see in the middle of the screen how you have red and then there are those yellow pieces of land around the red pieces of land?
Yes.
Essentially what scientists are saying is that those yellow pieces right there are the tectonic plates underneath Earth's crust, underneath the land that we're talking about.
Those are the
In the mid
tectonic plates under the crust.
Yes. Those are the
Okay.
tectonic plates. The red part is essentially what they are calling Africa. Those are known as the earliest embryos of land. So just like when we're talking about embryology with cells, they refer to land as the same way. So the red is the land, so-called Africa. The orange or the yellow are the tectonic plates. These tectonic plates shift and they move, and this is what helps expand that so-called landmass. That right there in the middle is actually so-called Africa. So through tectonic processes, movement, the energy, magma cooling off, kimblites, the diamonds, the different interstellar I can't even think right now. What am I trying to say? The material, the crystals.
Uh huh.
Damn,
Yeah,
fried.
the way they know how old a landmass is by the nano diamonds or the diamonds that is created from.
Yep,
You see what I'm
kimblites.
saying? Which are kimblites, or you see what I'm saying? Diamonds that are created through stellar nucleosynthesis. So these tectonic plates are merging together, are coming together through magnetic waves coming from the inner core of Earth. So all land masses come together, and then they spread apart, and then they come together,
Yep.
and then they spread apart, and they come together like a breathing sequence. You see what I'm saying? When you breathe, you expand and contract. When you everything in nature expands and contracts.
Yep. Orgon
Expands,
energy.
yeah, organ energy expands and contracts. So this is just a representation of life in a different organization of life and the celestial level of life. That's what's happening. So we're not living on a different landmass. We're living on a planet. We're not living in cities and states. You're living in a jungle. You're living in a forest. You don't live in cities and states. You don't live in countries. Those don't really exist. They could have called that Africa. They could have called that America. They could have switched the names around and you would have never known, because they're rugging you. They're poisoning you. You would have never known. So the only way you can know is by its functionality, which will never change and which will operate for eons and eons of years. So that's what's going on. The unification right now is what's happening, because we're entering a different state of consciousness through how Earth is moving through the zodiac signs. We're leaving Pisces and entering Aquarius, and that's changing the anatomical structure of Earth, and that's changing the biological structure of us as the people, organic people of Earth. So we're all right now evolving with the planet. So that's what we're saying. If you're not trying to elevate your consciousness, you are going to get left behind. And it's not our choice. The choice is on the universe. She said that already. She said, if you're not going to elevate your consciousness, and if you're not going to be with your species, then you got to go. This isn't about landmass. This isn't about none of that titles, culture. This is about electromagnetism. That's it.
Yeah, facts. Thank you for that. And I had to just grab my my notes on this too. So yeah, the red is essentially what they are calling Africa, and it actually grew little by little on its own. It expanded naturally on its own. That expansion that he's talking about, the can I have lots of emojis in the chat? Because I don't know if this word will trigger it, but orgon energy is orgasmic energy, and it's the contract and release that we see throughout all of nature, like he just explained. And I actually found my notes on like the orgon energy accumulator, the black body radiators, and how they're actually creating that tech. But Delbert Blair, there's a video that is on my account where he talks about orgon energy and that expansion when we're seeing Africa grow little by little. And then when we see the contract and release that's actually taking place with the tectonic plates. So this is another reason why the maps have changed so much over time as well, because Earth is constantly changing. She's a living, breathing organism. We're in a womb. So outside of that, these land masses, they will join together. Parts of they say like the oldest part of Africa is the Kimberley region. And this is where in South Africa, and the kimblites, so the diamonds that come up through when magma is released, is how they're able to tell the age of Earth. So when it comes to how mountains are formed, as well, which is another part of the land, they're formed by three different ways, which is by tectonics. So we can see that like the Alps, right? And then we have meteorite impact, which the Kimberley region specifically of Africa are one of the only mountainous regions there that have not been affected by tectonic processes or volcanoes. So there's a lot of different structures here, I'm sure, that were impacted by other cosmic forces. And one of them would be the meteorite impact. There's another thing that's called paleomagnetism, which is basically the explanation behind pieces moving through space that impact other things.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot. They and then you have to be careful what the scientists are saying because they'll say 800 million years ago, something there's a landmass called Gondwana that was formed. So these are names that they're classifying it as she evolves, as she changes. So we've heard of Pangea, we've heard of Eurasia, but then there's also a Gondwana. Now they're calling it Africa. They're calling certain parts of her the land masses because this is what happens in the brain. And I'm getting ready to put that on the brain too. The energy that we see, the vertical energy that is created before magma is released, is the same type of vertical energy that we see in the masculine brain. And that horizontal flow of energy, which is the point that we as people can see land being formed, is a horizontal flow of energy, and that's how the feminine brain is formed as well. So when we say know thyself, we really mean like enter and understand the way that the planet is and how we're connected to that. And this is what I mean.
All levels of life, you better
Yeah.
know how you operate in it energetically.
Facts. So you can see like how the masculine brain is wired from front to back. And this is kind of like if you were to look at the masculine brain, they can still see it. It's fine. You can see it on the left hand side of the screen. The blue is the masculine brain, and you can see how it's wired from front to back versus the women is wired from horizontal side to side. So literally conception, when we're talking about how conception begins in the brain, parthenogenesis begins in the brain, how we were able to conceive and create mentally, we can see that in nature literally through the flow of energy and how land is created or so-called birthed. You see what I'm saying? I just wanted to talk about that because at first I was getting tongue-tied a little bit with that. But that's just the spill, the breakdown. We got to understand how land is formed so we understand they trick and they lies. You know what I'm saying? If we don't
Word.
understand the scientific aspect, we're never going to see it. I can promise you that.
Yeah, once you learn science, their time makes no sense. You start to realize that they're talking about an immortal universe, and there's a temporal species here that's inorganic. That's when you start to shift. Like, damn, I'm actually an immortal being. I'm supposed to be here for eons. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I've been obtaining information and holding memory from geological to emotional changes on the planet and different planets for eons. So I
Hmm.
need to be using that to better evolve my species and not just evolve my species, evolve the planet. You see what I'm saying? Because through the process of cymatics, so-called black people, we should be the most intelligent being walking on this planet. You see what I'm saying? But right now we're only using 2 to 5% of our brain. So when we say that there's multiple different types of information that we need to be exposed to is to unlock different parts of your brain so you can have higher extrasensory perception. You need to heighten your senses. You see what I'm saying? You need to be outside of artificial environments and get back to natural environments, natural circumstances. Expose yourselves to natural circumstances. Stop exposing them to extremely low frequencies and artificial climated environments that is keeping them polluted and inadequate of minerals and vitamins.
I wanted to speak on something you stated earlier. I just had an epiphany, right? When you talking about the tectonic plates. Now, think about uh, how over Jesus, I don't know how many years they've been doing it, but they've been extracting oil from the ground, right? And obviously it's down there for a reason. I did my homework on that. It's so that the tectonic plates can glide and move freely, right? You got different layers of the tectonic plates. So when you extract that oil out the ground, then the tectonic plates can't move and slide like they're supposed to naturally, right? Which causes what? Earthquakes. So from what y'all just said, I just like, wow, but yeah, continue. I just had an epiphany. That's crazy, but
That
Yeah, no,
is
he
crazy.
cooking with
That is
that.
crazy.
yeah, because I'm
Why
like,
is
the more y'all talk, I'm just like,
Nah,
man,
the pieces just start to connect, like from what your previous knowledge, and
yeah,
that's why I love talking to people that's on the same frequency, because a lot of the times they connect these pieces in my mind for me, like
okay,
things that I should already know, that I know, but I don't quite understand yet, at least from a different perspective. You
perspective,
feel
yep,
me?
yep,
So it's
Yeah, so is it they're not, that's what I'm trying to get my people to understand. This is not just a black and white thing. That's my whole thing, y'all. This is not just landmass versus landmass. They're coming for our mother's womb. That's a crazy ass thing to come for, like to come for the divine feminine, the life giver. But also that doesn't dismiss our men. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't dismiss masculinity. That was the whole point of me showing that cyclical flow of energy and that horizontal flow of energy is important. We need each other. You see what I'm saying? Especially to restore her energy, we are bits and pieces of that. So if you're not operating like the divine masculine, like the divine feminine, that's hurting our mother. That's hurting the next brother or sister that actually, considering that the birds are connected to the electromagnetic grid, that's terrible for them. That's not good for the bees. The bees don't know who they are. They get lost trying to find their way home because of the phones,
The phone
because of the
gives bee
5G
cancer.
towers. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So it's like we got to understand, like, all of nature is really dependent on us waking up. It's not even just each other. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying? The lions, like,
The entire planet is
yeah,
waiting. The
whether
whole solar system is here watching. You see the pyramid UFOs in the sky that's been increasing over the years. You see what I'm
orbs.
saying? Orbs. The whole cosmos is watching our ascension. That's what these phones are for, to track your ascension. You see what I'm saying? They have infrared lenses to see your color of chakra that you're emitting, because right now, when this power grid shuts down, the sun's gonna go dark, and the only thing that's gonna be emitting light on this planet is the beings that walk in their truth, the beings that are emitting the highest frequency. We're gonna light up the planet. I'm telling you that right now.
Me and User was just talking about that yesterday, about how we can see people's auras. Even sometimes with the phones, you can kind of catch it at certain angles where the camera can expand and you can see a glow. Sometimes around people, or just generally in life, when more light comes into your the retina in your eyes, or in your body in general, you begin to see auric fields and sense them at a higher rate, or excuse me, perception.
Mm-hmm.
So
Got to clean that
you
body,
got to clean the body for
clean that
sure,
pineal gland.
because again, we were never supposed to eat meat or come in contact with it, and what that does to the brain is it causes sulcuses. When we're talking about how we're African American versus Indian, these different titles causes sulcuses in the brain. It causes a double mind, essentially, like what we know as a double mind. That actually, if you look at well, I'm not going to say neuroanatomy, but if you look at your brain, brain scans, the ridges, how they're more spaced out from each other, or
The grooves.
thick. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the rigid grooves, like how thick they are. And the brain is supposed to be more of a cohesive organ than what they show you. And when there's not enough light coming into the brain, that's what causes the brain to literally kind of separate from itself, because there's not enough water to keep it glued together, to keep it compact, right?
Too many heavy metals.
Yeah, too many heavy
Instead
metals.
of hydrogen ions to bond the brain corpus callosum, the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere together.
Facts. Yeah, that's what bridges the right and the left hemisphere together. Facts. And so, yeah, like it's more than just what we think. This is more than just we need money. You know what I'm saying? You don't need the money at all. The money is what keeps you from seeing the truth because you're an electromagnetic being chasing paper, chasing an insulator. We know that cotton is an insulator and doesn't conduct electricity unless we're talking about natural cotton, natural cotton, which most of us have not come in contact with. You know what I'm saying? Because there is cotton that exists in nature, but it's not the cotton that you're wearing. You see what I'm saying? A lot of the stuff that they had us picking in these fields were these hybridized vegetables that they were, you know what I'm saying, giving back to us to help shrink us in our frequency. Like I said, I seen a brother that was live about corn, talking about corn is culture. Corn is a hybridized vegetable that our bodies cannot even digest. You see what I'm saying? This stuff is not culture, it's cultivation. You know, when it comes to cotton, he was talking about like cotton and the textiles that we were not originally wearing clothes. You see what I'm saying? We have a electromagnetic field. We only wore things that powered that up. So clothes was not one of them. Does somebody want to say something? Or excuse me, who is this up here?
Yeah, somebody new.
Who is that? ZXK3? Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to come on and talk about. I had a question about seeing the orbs, UFOs or the UAPs in the sky, and just wanted to know like what did you think about UFOs or UAPs?
Yeah, most of our people are flying those. And again, like he was saying, like we're not the only intelligent life forms here, and we exist all throughout the cosmos. So our brothers and sisters have joined in to see our transition, to see how to see us go back to consciousness again.
To
And
our
when it
crystalline
comes,
state.
yeah, and when it comes to the orbs, that's our original form, the light body. You see what I'm saying? We often remind our people like we're not the body. And in order to actually travel the cosmos, like you have to understand that. Like that neuromelanin is what the cosmos is composed of. So in order for you to travel the universe, you need your light body. You need to understand how your physical body is connected to that, your exoteric body.
That's right. That's the Merkaba, right?
Yep, your Merkaba. Your Merkaba is how you travel the cosmos through the orb that we're talking about. That orb that you see in the star in the sky, that's the star. That's what you are. That's how you really look like.
Man, I'm very proud of you guys. You guys are spot on. You guys are doing great job. Thank
Gratitude,
you.
Abundance,
abundance.
brother. You know what I'm saying? Each one reach one, man.
Anybody else? L, user, wise, call me a mentee. Anybody else have anything else? Anybody want to request up? Anybody disagree with anything I said? Anybody want? No, I'm just playing.
Man, I'm just in agreement with bro, man. Y'all doing a great job. A great job. Like my mind has been, and I've been going through some crazy things these last couple of days where like I guess you would say my mind is evolving, and it's like I've never been the type of person who didn't want to learn more or didn't want to learn the thing that created that thing. Like how did that still don't explain how we got to where we are. So I've always had that thought of how did we even get to this, like since a kid, right? And not really having nobody to not just explain that to you, but like bounce these things back and forth with to make it make sense. It kind of kills it for you a little bit.
Add on to that, like, that's the whole point. It's like you're born into this world and you have like all this information, but then the design of like even being in the same space of these species that aren't the same as us, it's like we have to go into their systems and like we have to go in their educational systems but then they're not suited for us. Like they compress our mind. Like we're not even able to express ourselves fully in those spaces. So like that's the whole thing. And then it's like everybody is going along with these systems and everything, and they've been conditioned to see that way of like existing as law. Like you have to think about it when you're in these schools, like there's no sunlight, you're boxed in a prison within a space. Like instead of learning from outside, like you're supposed to learn from your environment, from your own experiences in nature, but then you're put in conditions where you have to learn in these structured, closed off environments with people who don't even share the same anatomy as you. So you don't even get the opportunity to learn about neuromelanin. You don't get the opportunity to learn about yourself. But these times they are talking about our anatomy, but not in the way that we comprehend it, which is why we struggle or we don't have the same interest while we're learning in school. Like we're not paying attention like that. And then we're also experiencing things like racism and all this stuff that affects our learning abilities. And then it makes us feel like we're not good enough and all this stuff. But these times we have all the information and knowledge that we need from ourselves. So we just need to separate from this system. It's going to crash regardless, and like focus on coming back together and sharing as much information as possible and standing on what we say and stop eating all this meat and stop following these Abrahamic religions and like leave all the distractions alone, the Cardi B's, the whatever's, like leave them alone and just focus on yourself, focus on learning and growing as an individual and evolving with nature. Like that's what we got to do.
Well said,
Powerful,
my sister.
Abundance.
powerful gratitude. I just want to say thank you and respect to user 666 and Star Watcher and the masculine as well with Star Watcher. All the feminines and the individual women that are tapping into this live, please listen to the feminine wisdom and the intellect of the ladies in here. User 666 and especially Skywatcher as well. The way how Skywatcher breaks things down is it's very primordial and it's very detailed and intricate. So as a woman, projecting like this in the universe during this time as well, man, it's primordial. It's powerful. So respect and respect.
Gratitude, abundance. Well, I'm gonna give it a
Abundance.
go one last time. I'm gonna see if anybody wants to come up, but if nobody's gonna come up, then I'll probably be back probably tomorrow. I don't
Yeah,
know. It depends on
find the rising or something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I appreciate everybody for like coming in though and sharing their frequency, because we all need to just keep raising our energy, keep raising our consciousness. There's always more to what you currently see. So knowledge never stops. You can never be bored. So that's all I got
Agreed,
to say.
agreed, agreed.
Go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, I just want to say it's all like this experience right here. It's like this energy to me is just like it brings like so much behind it. Like this really inspiring energy. Like you raise your frequency off of each other, like you said, to bring the planet back up. And I just like these type of experiences and all of this. Just it brings so much more than what can like words can actually say. And that's just the way I feel about this.
Gratitude, my brother. Gratitude for your frequency for saying that, because each one of us are responsible for being that light. You know what I'm saying? You're responsible for your own journey, of course, but if you understand that you're connected to another brother or sister, it holds you that much more accountable. You know what I'm saying? So steel has to sharpen steel. The most magnetic thing that you can do is to make sure that you're locked in with yourself. That's the most magnetic thing. If there are fears that you haven't faced, face them. If there are things that you're running from, stop running. You know what I'm saying? Lock in and understand and remember who you are. You know what I'm saying? When you start feeling down, because the thing is it's easy to be in that vibration, but it can be challenging to stay in it. You got to talk back to yourself mentally. You got to mentally fight. You got to understand that the war is in the mind. It's not
uh flesh, blood. It's about you mind over matter and overcoming the frequency that you was in a second ago, not even just yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So it's a constant thing. It's a constant war, but you are not the body. You're much greater than that. Did somebody want to say something? Who is that up there? Maud, the melon god. Go ahead. Go
Peace,
ahead,
peace
Maud.
to you.
Gratitude, abundance.
Now, yeah, you saying everything on point. You know, we have to get back to controlling the narrative in the mind and know that you know you're your own movie writer or movie maker, whatnot. You know, and stop getting influenced by so many outer frequencies and just anything that's being projected to you. You gotta know that's not you. You know that that's not you creating that. And as you being your own generator and operator and destroyer, you got to be in control on what's coming to the mind, because then you sending it out.
Facts. And I just want to reiterate, you are always manifesting every second of the day. Excuse me. And the things that you see in your reality is because you had brain and heart coherence in order for you to see that. That means that you aligned the thoughts that you had in your brain and you exerted a substantial amount of energy, whatever it is, because you can manifest out of depression, you can manifest out of fear, you can manifest out of abundance, you can manifest out of gratitude. Whatever frequency you're in, you're manifesting that. You have to be aware of what it is that you're doing. That's consciousness observing itself. So, how stars are able to observe other stars. The scientists talk about, oh, meteorites, they're just bumping into other stuff. It's consciousness. They are conscious and aware of what you consider to be a big bang was conscious. It was very organized. There was chaos and order that was brought to that. So, in order for you to truly get where you want to be, you do have to sit with those things that are holding you back. And that's something that I will say. Us going through this shift as a people, we're gonna see so-called darkness because of what is physically gonna be taking place on the planet, but we're not gonna experience darkness the same because we're not all in the same frequency. Some of us are able to see the light in dark situations. Some of us still struggle with that. That's
Right.
why it's important to be locked in with your mind.
Just,
And the only way that you're gonna see the truth is only if you speak it from within.
Go
just
ahead,
like
Mom.
just like I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. We just had a big snowstorm. Some people ain't had power the last 4 or 5 days. Me, I haven't. I didn't go through that. I didn't experience that. So everything will meet you where you at. You get what I'm saying? Every experience that you are going through, it was supposed to happen. There's no coincidences. So that's why I say when you get to a certain frequency of knowing what's coming to your mind, what projection and then you control of the narrative more, then now you up to something. You,
Facts.
you ain't
And
you ain't falling for the doggy trick.
L, did you want to say something? Facts, brother.
No, I agree. He's right. As a man thinketh, so shall he be. I've been practicing this, I say, for the last 10 years. I've been changing my thinking, the way I think, the way I eat, just my mindset as a whole. I came up in the, public school system like most of us did. I was indoctrinated with the same bullshit, the same lies. But like the brother said earlier, I always knew from a child that none of this shit made any sense. None of it makes any sense, like none of it. And the people that we call elders couldn't answer my questions. So it kind of, it caused a lot of issues.
I'll say delay. Say delay, because that's what it did for me. It delayed.
Yeah,
It
yeah. You know
delayed
what I
me
mean?
You
forever.
right. We had a lot of questions that couldn't be answered too.
And that was, and they couldn't answer it
It's just
because
I don't think that now that I'm a little older, I don't think that
that the questions couldn't be answered. We're just talking to the wrong people. It's like you're not talking to a doctor about selling cars. You feel me? Selling cars. You feel me?
Well,
So
not
it's
only
like,
that, I think a thought process hadn't hit the frequency of the planet yet, because that we brought in, like after the '80s, a whole different thought process of questioning and thinking came, especially in the '90s, 2000s. It's ridiculous.
But but this is my point. This is what I'm saying. The ones who should know this information, or the ones who do, a lot of them took oaths to keep it a secret. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I've studied in a lot of different religions, and a lot of the questions that these people should have. That, for instance, if you grew up Christian, right, there should be nothing in that Bible that I should be able to, that my pastor can't answer, right? Any question that I have, or if I'm in Islam, it should be nothing in the Quran that that you can't answer. So it's just like it's ego. At the end of the day, like I said earlier, it's ego. You know what I mean? It's one thing to not know. If my son or daughter come to me, oh, daddy, what's this or what's that? If I don't know the answer, I'm not gonna tell them they're wrong, or you don't question me. No, I don't know the answer, but I tell you what, let's find it together. That's
word,
the difference. That I think that's the
word.
disconnect between us and the ones that came before us, that prior generation, like those baby boomers. They knew too. I feel like, I don't care who you are, when you were born, the same questions that I had as a child, I know everybody has them. It's impossible for you not to have them. Why am I here? What do I exist for? What's the purpose of life? These are questions that any sentient being with a conscience, or a form of consciousness, is gonna have. You know what I mean? So it's like, at some point in life, you just cut that off. You know what I mean? Well, nobody can answer it, or nobody else is worried about it, so I'm gonna just focus on the mundane things. I can't, because I've been here too many times. That shit don't matter to me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't care
I feel that.
how many rings Jordan got. I don't care how many points LeBron scored in the fight. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, what is that? What value does that add to my life? What does that do for me? Nothing. So this is what I mean when I say, anybody on this panel, anybody in the chat, anybody that's gonna watch this video, like, if this even interests you in the first place, I already know that you're an old soul. I already know that your level of consciousness is at least on a level to where, even if it interests you at all, if it's something that you even want to, well, what are they talking about? Or what is that? Or what's the genes? Or what's that word? Or you're already on the right path. You know what I mean? So, and the information is out here. And this is why I love these type of bills, because when I was younger, I didn't have this. There was no internet.
Right.
Right.
There was no TikTok. There was none of this shit. So if you didn't know somebody, if you didn't have access to certain encyclopedias or books, or you weren't somebody that just lived in the library, and you wouldn't come across this information. And this is why I say, at this point in time, right? What time doesn't exist, but you understand what I'm saying. At this point, right? If you are even interested in any of this stuff, it's so much information out here at your fingertips that it's no excuse. So any question that you really have, you may not find the right answer or the true answer to it, but it's something for you to work with, right? And so I just want to say thank you, for inviting me up. It's a lot. I'm gonna just say this, and I'm done. I'll be on TikTok a lot of time doing like case studies. It's a lot of crazy people out here. Okay, most of the lives that I go, I'm like, what are they talking? Everybody's over talking each other.
Gender war crap.
It's all this crazy. What is a trans woman, a woman, and all? It's just it's like, it's what? And you like, because you know I'm right, bro. You know
Gender war
it's
crap, bro.
crazy.
Gender
It's
war
like
But
it's
crap.
like
just
what?
nonsense,
I've been
basically.
trying to
Yeah.
purge my algorithm. I've been trying to purge my algorithm. I've been blocking everything that got something to do with a gender war, man. I'm so tired of seeing it. Oh my God.
But this is
Yeah,
my point. I'm
you
saying that
can't even hit
because,
the not interest enough times. You can't even hit it.
Man, how
yeah.
many times I gotta
And
do
they
that?
trying to but that's the thing, y'all. Y'all gotta understand, everything that y'all been talking about tonight. That's the point. If we don't give our energy to it, if we don't think about it, if we don't engage with it,
It
it
don't
doesn't
exist.
exist.
That's right.
So the best thing
That's
you can
right.
do is ignore it, and it'll go away. That's so, to what the sister said earlier. Well, how do we do it? How do we find? We just gonna give up? No, ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Ignore it. You are God. It doesn't. If you don't give it your energy, it don't exist.
We don't get how powerful just saying no. It's like, no, I'm not going for it no more. Mm-mm.
But I'm done. I
Yeah,
appreciate
I
y'all, man.
feel you.
Salute y'all. Love y'all. Be safe. I gotta go rest this flesh bag. I gotta go to work in the morning. But you gotta follow her. You gotta
Yes,
follow her.
sir. Yes, sir.
Gratitude, my
Most
brother, in
definitely.
abundance, because you over here speaking facts. You hear
Yeah,
me?
man. Abundance, brother. Abundance, man.
Right, and
That was
stay
very
dangerous,
powerful.
man.
Very
Yes,
powerful.
sir. Y'all be safe.
Cause you dangerous right now. Stay dangerous.
Always, always. Peace.
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 Uh, anybody else? Mod. Who else?
User,
User.
anybody?
Anybody?
Well, I love that y'all are, especially it sound like y'all are younger in age too. That's thinking like this. Y'all are real powerful, man. You don't even know it. And the best thing for y'all to do, because I know that right now with the chat GPT and a lot of information, people going to AI, just tap into yourself. Go into the darkness. You should be meditating every day in complete darkness with your eyes open. Go in a dark room, any dark space, and have your eyes open and, get to know yourself. With all your shadows coming together as one and releasing what need to be released and letting your thoughts go through let everything that needs to take its course, let it take its course, because that's part of our spiritual practice, man. And you'll get more control of the narrative of what you're doing on the day to day when you start doing that.
Yeah,
Yep,
facts.
facts. So like even when she said that the most magnetic thing we can do is learn ourselves, is focus on ourselves and learn ourselves in different venues. See what I'm saying? The next magnetic thing you can do after you're learning yourself or you're on the journey of learning yourself and you're on a good trajectory is to awaken or enlighten another brother and sister so they can have that same feeling and they can keep passing it on.
Mm-hmm.
That's our money right there. That's our consciousness right there. That's beauty right there.
Mm-hmm.
We all wake up under the sun knowing that we all own this planet. We have a global civilization. We go back to trading energy. That's real reality, man. So I'm sure I'm saying abundance for that. So
And
we keep moving forward.
the best way to do that is to awaken and enlighten people is by you being the expression, the example, and the experience yourself. Every day they come around or anytime they see you or this, you a spitting image of what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Facts.
Right. Right. And look, y'all, I gotta go to work in the morning, man. I'm gonna let y'all go with it, but y'all got me as a follower and as a student to the information. You feel me, to the knowledge, and I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate everybody else on the panel.
Peace, brother.
Gratitude,
Peace.
abundance, my
Hold
Respect,
up.
brother.
man. Respect, respect. Love, man. Love.
Abundance.
Respect.
Yeah, abundance and gratitude chat. I haven't really been tapped in with the chat that much this live, but I've been seeing y'all still. You know what I'm saying? So gratitude for the kind words and the things that y'all are saying. Um, and let's see, Aaliyah said, I think I just found my family. If you neuromelanated, we are family through embryology for sure. So
Yeah, we have a whole
if
universal family,
yeah, a
man.
whole
You see what I'm
universal
saying? That's
family.
why we have to understand our genetics to see who are we connected to, what are we connected to, what is our functionality under the sun, on the planet.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Any last minute words or anything?
What I'm gonna say
Goal of
this too.
gratitude, goal.
Well, I'm gonna say this one too. I was just in a chat in a live, and a girl asked the dude a good question, and he kind of got upset about it. But everybody need to know this too about themselves. What's your spiritual value? Not your physical value or things you do in the physical. What is your spiritual value?
Um,
That when people go and you have to dig for those values, is everything get different.
mhm. Your spiritual value.
Hmm.
I guess I'm just trying to understand because
The same way you got physical
Because that's
values, you got spiritual
value.
values.
Hmm.
And what are you trying to like say about that? Like, what do you mean spiritual values?
Like if
Like,
we start uplifting our spiritual values compared to our physical values every day, like you go when you take time to meditate, you uplifting your spiritual values.
so your mental energy.
There you go.
Yeah, your
So,
mental
Hmm.
energy,
there you go.
which is made up of ether particles, which is
What do you
breath.
do? What you do when you're not in the physical? What do you pull when you in a meditative state or when you go to sleep? What do you do with your spirit?
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah. What
it
are
gets
you?
deep.
Yeah. What are you meditating on? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? What are you? What kind of thoughts are you having?
There you go.
You know, and that's your energetic currency. You know, I guess that's what you're saying. Spiritual current or spiritual value or energetic currency or
It
frequency.
goes hand in hand. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't understand you at first. I got you now. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that goes back to what type of how is your magnetism, like what are you attracting?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm getting tongue tied up here, man. But
Rational thinking, you see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Strategizing, that's calculated thinking, you see what I'm saying? Observing, focusing, you see what I'm saying? Decoding, detecting, that's mental value, you see what I'm saying? Show reading, that's showing your mental, your spiritual energy value. That's
Hmm.
growth, you see what I'm saying? That's how you
Because
grow your mental and spiritual energy, is through observing life and decoding life, not decoding phones, not decoding cars,
Right.
designing
Taking things off of physical. You're taking your mental and raising it up, getting it away from having it on this physical illusion all day.
yeah, facts.
yeah,
Yeah.
you should be
So
having fun on the planet.
so
Facts.
the
There you
brain
go.
likes,
There you
yeah,
go.
the brain likes reading. And so that's what like he was trying to say with showing the brain love,
Hmm.
and things like that. What how when it comes to your spleen, when it comes to your skin, when it comes to your body, like what are the things that your body is actually charged up off of, right? So that's another aspect to think of every single day.
Hmm.
Too, with magnetism, you know,
Hmm.
because it's really hard for you to manifest or to even understand manifestation if you're eating meat, if you're eating processed food, purified water, stuff like that. It's going to be really hard for you to lock in with manifestation. I actually could not manifest the way I wanted to until I put down meat.
Yeah, because your narrative is controlled through the food. Mhm.
Facts. Well, abundance, y'all. Anybody else
I just want to
going
say
once?
thank you so much, Sky and Denzel. Like, you guys have spoke so much fire today. Like, you like don't know how much you've impacted people who are passing through their life. Like, so many people have been listening, and like, I'm losing my voice because it's literally almost 7 a.m. here.
I know.
But
I'm looking at the time. I'm like, sis, it's like 8 there.
literally, no, I was like, maybe I should go now. But you guys kept talking, and it's like you sparked that entire internal fire. Like, I'm taking notes. Like, I need to learn about this. I need to read up on this. Like, there's like a never ending amount of things to learn. And like, there's so many people in the chat who are also feeling the same way. And like, before you know it, they're gonna come up here and they're gonna share like their frequency too. They're
Mm-hmm.
probably doing all the research on all these things and growing in themselves. So thank you so
Very true.
much.
Very true.
Mm.
Gratitude, my sister,
Mm.
always.
Abundance for that,
Abundance.
you know what I'm saying, powerful, positive energy.
Respect.
Peace.
All
You know
right,
what I'm
y'all.
saying?
If nothing else, I'm gonna turn it in. Gratitude and abundance.
Yeah,
Y'all have
yeah.
a good.
Just one thing. Quickly. Sorry.
Mentally. Go ahead.
Just within this time reality, just always have a balance. Learn to control, learn to understand, overstand that you're beautiful, you're special, you're royalty, and you're perfected within terms of your abilities. And as well, always have a balance, as well, because within reality, they're always, you know, um projecting commercials or propaganda or advertisements and certain products or certain embodiments such as meat products or protein products, so always be sure to what you're looking at and what you're projecting and really, inner consuming towards your body or your kingdom, or your temple. But, always have a balance, always under control, especially during this time of the universe. And it's all love and respect at the end of the day, because we're all beautiful.
Gratitude.
All right, man. Abundance for that.
Denzel is right above you, Aaliyah, or Elia. You can follow him. We're either live on this page or his or the backup, but we'll direct you to the backups. But yeah, y'all, gratitude. All right, nothing else. Bye.